Hello fellow survivors, and welcome to the vegan challenge of the Long Dark, which is mostly what you think it is. It's going to be playing the Long Dark as a vegan. This is actually probably my most requested challenge that people want to see in one form or another, and today we're doing it. But before we hop into it, there's a few things we need to talk about, because being a vegan in this challenge is harder than it sounds, because it's not as straightforward deciding what to do. Now, I have done a challenge before that's similar to this, which actually is the reason I put this off for so long. Back in a while ago, I did a challenge called Birch Tea Only, where I played Interloper and survived with only Birch Tea, and I was able to survive doing it. And then when people asked if I could do a vegan challenge, I figured, well, there's no point because Birch Tea is vegan. However, in that challenge, I could still wear animal clothing and that sort of thing, which wouldn't be the case here. So in this challenge, the rules are pretty straightforward. First, you cannot eat any animal products, nor any food as derived from animals, such as eggs or milk. And you cannot wear any clothing that is derived from animals either. And you cannot hurt any animals. Those are the basic rules of this challenge, and that's the vegan challenge. However, there's a couple of complications with this challenge we just need to clarify before we get going. And that is to do with the ingredients of certain items in the game. There's some items in this game that actually says what the ingredients are in the back. So you can actually infer whether they are vegan or not. Then there are some that doesn't say it, so you have to go by the averages. One example of this is ketchup chips. Are ketchup chips vegan? Well, I don't know, and I'm not a vegan myself, but my sister is a vegan, so I asked her for some help and went through a little list of food, and she said this probably is vegan. But sometimes it happens that food that looks vegan isn't vegan and vice versa, but I'm going to conclude that this is vegan. Then there's another complication, which is what you can wear. A good example is the running shoes. Now, if you look at the description of the running shoes, it says it's made of nylon, but if you try to harvest it, it gives you leather, suggesting that either there is some leather in these shoes, or it's just some mechanic where the game just treats it as being made of leather even if it isn't, and it's a bit hard to know what to do there. So because of this, there's a few items in the game that we don't really know whether they're vegan or not, and it's a little bit up to each player's interpretation to decide if that's a vegan thing to do or not. So therefore, throughout this challenge in this video you're going to see, I do pause a few times and I discuss, I'm not sure if this is vegan or not. So it's a little bit tricky at times, and feel free to comment if you disagree or agree with any of the choices I make, and we can of course amend this challenge again. And the last thing is harming animals. Now, you can't harm any animals in this challenge. The only exception is you are allowed to defend yourself against animals, provided you do not give them any lethal damage. So you can scare them away, or if you end up in a struggle, you can use your hands, a pry bar, or a hammer, which will damage a wolf, but it won't kill it. So we consider that fair game. So that's the vegan challenge. It's pretty straightforward in principle, but in practice a little bit tricky because there are some gray areas with regards to what you can use. And I do make one major mistake in this video where I violate the rules without realizing. So see if you can spot which one that was. With all that being said, let's hop in and play Vegan Interloper. Let's get to it. Hello fellow survivors, and welcome to this special challenge of Interloper, which is the long requested vegan challenge of the Long Dark, which is exactly what you think it is. You can only be a vegan in the game, which means no meat and no using of animal products at all. You can play this differently though if you like. You can, instead of being a vegan, you can be a vegetarian or a pescatarian, or you can be a forager who eat animals that are already dead, that sort of thing. We're going to go for the proper thing, which is full vegan, and just try and survive that way. And let's hop right in and we'll do the rest of the explanation of this challenge as we go along. So we're going to start a new one. We'll do regular Interloper, and let's do will today. We always do Astrid. Now feats, well, I always go for Snowwalker and Cold Fusion. I'm not sure this time because Cold Fusion is great because it might make you warm in the early game and the late game also when you're outside. But in this mode, we're not going to be able to wear any of the animal clothing. It might still help though. Efficient Machine, I think we might want to use here because you consume less calories, which means that the food found will last longer. However, I think I'm not going to use it. Normally I would use this, I think, for this channel, but I'm not going to use it. The main reason I'm not going to use it is when I do custom challenges like this, I have viewers watching that might want to try it themselves. And a lot of viewers don't have feats like this one, where you have to survive 500 days, because it takes a while to get this one. So if I play it and I have this on, then it's not really representative of the possibilities of the average player. So if someone tries to do the same run as I'm doing now, they're going to basically have a 10% disadvantage. So I'm not going to use that, I don't think. Well, this one being 100 days outside is fairly easy to get by comparison. And this one also traveling, you just play the game and you get this one. It's not that hard really. So I'm not sure. I might actually just go for no feats at all, just to make this as clean as possible. But if I had to choose feats, if I was doing it without that consideration, I think I would go for Efficient Machine and probably this one, Free Runner, because then you burn less calories. I think we'll just do no feats. Let's do that. Vegan. Now, when you do vegan challenge like this, there's a few things that are different than a regular run, because normally in an Interloper run, the main thing to do is find a hammer and go to the forge and make weapons so you can survive. In this mode though, that's not so important because we can't hunt anyway. In fact, we're not allowed to harm any animals at all. The only exception being if I end up in a wolf struggle, I'm allowed to use a blunt weapon like a pry bar or hammer or my fist to fight it off, because then you won't kill the wolf. Other than that, you can't hurt animals and you can't use animal products, which means that any food with animal products in them, as far as we're able to tell anyway, as well as clothing that have animals in them, can't use those, which means forging is not that important. Instead, what's more important is to gather as much plant food as we can and go to summit to get as much gear as we can. Okay, so we are this Timov Mountain. Let's have a quick look here. I think it might be. That would be a lucky start if it is. I think it might be Timov Mountain, yeah. Yeah, pretty sure this is Timov Mountain. It is. That's great, because that's exactly where I want to be. I want to go up to the summit. So, that's good, because summit is the goal of this one. Lucky. Although I need a hacksaw, that's the only thing. So what we're going to do now, it's kind of like a regular Interloper run in the beginning as you loot everything. But there are certain items that are off limits, because they aren't vegan friendly. And we're not really in a hurry to go to the forge. So our priorities are a little bit different. We need to basically pick up as many plant-based items as we can, which is basically, well, all plants, obviously. And we can't hurt any animals, so we're not going for any rabbits or anything like that, or ptarmigans or anything like that. So because we're not forging and we're not harvesting animals and we're not eating any kind of meat, we need to basically get any kind of survival gear that is vegan friendly, which is things like parkers and pants and stuff, because there's very few items that we can craft that are vegan friendly. Because most of the stuff you craft clothing wise are animal clothing, and they're very strong items, but you can't wear them if you're a vegan, because if you're a vegan you can't eat animals and you also can't use products derived from animals. If you're a vegetarian though, then you can permit that, so you can amend this challenge however you want. Right now we're going to head to Mountaineer's Hut, and then we want to just get as many plants as we can, get as much gear, vegan friendly gear as we can, and then the best bet is to go to the gold mine to get the backpack, and then head to the summit. Because the thing is that we kind of need the gear in the summit, but the only issue is we need a hacksaw at the summit, and we don't have one. There is pretty much a 75% chance of getting a hacksaw, because the hacksaw pretty much will be either in the mountaineer's hut, or I think 1 in 2 places at the summit, pretty much. So I think it's only a 1 in 4 chance of not getting it. So the odds of getting it by just going to the summit is pretty high. But if we go to the summit and we don't have a hacksaw, we can still plant the rope for easier access next time, and then we can go and get a hacksaw and then just come back, really. But now it's very cold because it's early in the morning, and early morning is the coldest part of the day. So we need to basically get to the mountaineers out as fast as we can. I haven't checked my gear that I'm wearing. I doubt I'm wearing any non-vegan gear right now, but you never know. We still need stones because we can use them to distract wolves. We can also, I think we'll permit ourselves that if a wolf is charging you and you throw the stone at the wolf, so to hit it on the head so it runs away, I think that's permissible. You aren't, I mean, you are technically hurting the wolf, but you know, it's either that or dying, and the wolf is not going to get killed by that. So I think that's permissible. Basically, any kind of self-defense against animals that doesn't lead to the death, I think is permissible. Because otherwise you just got to stand there and take it. I mean, you could do hardcore vegan if you want to. You can do hardcore vegan challenge. But you just say like, no, you cannot even interact with any animals. So if you get charged with a wolf, you just got to sit there and take it. You're just dead unless you have a good enough gear to protect yourself. You could do that if you want to. But I'm going to say that you can't hurt animals deliberately, and you can't kill any animals, but in self-defense you can deter them with non-lethal means. I think that's a pretty animal-friendly way to do it. And now we're picking up as many cattails as we can. So the priority now is to find as much clothing, vegan-friendly clothing as we can, and vegan-friendly food. And as we go around the world and look for loot, we want to also pick up as much birch bark as possible. Because this is probably leather. I'll pick it up, but we're not going to use it. Oh, lantern, that's good. It's a tidy. I will go through it later. Let's warm up first before I go through the inventory. Picking up an item that's non-vegan isn't breaking the challenge. It's using the item does break it. You basically want in this challenge also to get as much birch bark as possible. So you really want to start a route. Let's see if the hammer's here. And the hammer is here. Fantastic. This is when the hammer spawns. If it's not here, it can be in the hut. It can be there. It can be at the summit. It is a very, very high chance of getting a hammer here in Timorth Mountain. You don't really need it though, except that we can use it as defense against wolves. And we can also break down acorns. Alright. There we are. And in here, there should be matches. If not here, they'll be here. There they are. Guaranteed matches right there. And let's start a fire right away. Let's pick up all the wood. Let's just start a fire right now. What's the weather? It's okay, yeah. Start a fire, and then I'll sort out my inventory and all that stuff. Again, picking up something that's non-vegan doesn't matter. You just because sometimes you have to see if it is vegan or not, and you might pick up something by accident. There's no point in making a challenge that's so strict that technicalities make you lose out, that sort of thing. But when you have a challenge like this, there's some room for interpretation, but it's really up to you to decide how far you want to take it. Should help warm things up. 1 degree. We'll put on the fir firewood, I think. That should warm up a little bit. And let's make some water. Always make water while you do stuff. Now, first things first, let's look around. So back here we got candy bar, pinnacle peaches,
I think I can use this.
Carcass housing book. We're never going to use that. Spray paint. Soda. Oops. This one that has the map on the back. I don't know if you ever noticed that. It's just bright. Anything else here? I don't think so. And what about here? We got sewing kit. Down vest.
What have we here?
Then over here there's usually something, yeah. Summit soda. And I think that's probably it. Now let's have a little look at our inventory. But first, am I wearing anything that's wool? And this is not wool because it says it's cotton. Thermal can be wool, but this at least says that it's cotton. So we're going to consider that non-vegan. Sorry, vegan. Now, we are not going to go into the ethics of veganism. That is to say that things can be a vegan product, like, you know, plant, you know, made of cotton, for example. But it may not be ethically sourced cotton and that sort of thing. We're not going to go into that because then it's impossible. We're already working a little bit with tippets of information. Here, for example, nylon shoes. Nylon's vegan, isn't it? Isn't nylon just like plant fiber? I think that's what it is. Actually, I didn't ask my sister about that, but I'm pretty sure that's fine. Because, you know, I also didn't wear shoes. But yeah. Yeah. What else is there? Sports socks. This is cotton socks. I think nylon is vegan, actually. Well, we're going to wear them for now. And if I find out later that this is not vegan, we'll dump it. This is leather gloves. We can't use that. That's derived from an animal, so you can drop that. And then these are down vests. It doesn't say, but if it's filled with down, then presumably it's filled with like animal feathers. So we can't use that either. And that's pretty much it. So that's what we're stuck with. This is a cotton shirt. Jeans. I don't know exactly what jeans are made of, but I'm pretty sure that's vegan. If I make a mistake, feel free to correct me, but I have checked most of it. And also this carcass housing book, we can just burn it. We're not going to use carcass housing anyway. And then here we got chocolate bars. Now we can't eat the chocolate because most chocolate are made with milk. So that's not vegan. You can get vegan chocolate, of course, but we're going to have to assume this is not vegan. So we can drop that. Cattails, totally vegan. Pinnacle peaches, vegan. There might be like fructose or whatever. Like here, it says corn syrup on the soda. So it could be like unethically, you know, sourced or whatever, but we're not going to go into that. This is all plant-based, so this is all vegan. And then this stuff is all fine, and this stuff is all fine as well. So that's how we're looking at the moment. Let's do another water. Actually, while there's cooking, let's make 100% sure that nylon is vegan. Pod fiber and cotton tree are animal free. Oh, okay, so nylon is vegan. Okay, good to know. Didn't want to walk around with it. So these shoes are vegan. Okay, so if you look at the crafting menu while we're here, the stuff we can make. There's not a lot of stuff we can make that's vegan friendly. We got crampons we can make. Oh, whoopie-doo. We got improvised hand wraps, which is fine. We got head wrap, which is fine. Improved isolation, can't use that because we use a ptarmigan feather. So far it's just really these three. Then let's see what else there is. Moose is all animal stuff. You can't use any of this stuff. It's only really the head and the wraps. And a lot of the stuff we find is going to be wool. And if it's wool, we can't use it. So pretty much most of the best items in the game, we can't use it. We really should make this. Now, here's a question for you, of course. Depending on how you do this challenge, like this, the down vest. Now, a grey area here is, we can't use this. But should we be allowed to harvest it? I don't know. Technically that's using the item, so I'm gonna say no. We're just gonna not touch it, I guess. But that's there's some nuances to this challenge that you just gotta decide yourself on whether you want to adhere to or not. Let's, while we wait, prepare some reishi. That's plants. And we'll see if we go well fed or not with this. We'll have to see. Let's do some more water. And do another reishi. And then, because it's still daytime, I think we're going to go soon. We might sleep for 1 hour. Is there any other crafting? I don't think so. I didn't pick up any lichen. Let's just while that cooks. Let's see how we look at here. We'll sort that out later. Now the thing is, while this cooks, let me explain something. So what we're going to do now, let's go on the world. So we're here in Timber Wolf Mountain. What we want to do is, we want to go to Ash Canyon and get the backpack. We might as well, because we're here, right? We might as well. But what we really want is the summit. So I'm fortunate that I spawned here in Timber Wolf Mountain, so I'm already close to the summit. But the drawback of spawning here is that I don't know if I will get a hacksaw on the summit. I might get it. There's a fairly high chance I will get one, either here in the cabin or on the summit, but it's not guaranteed. So it's possible I'll make my way up to the summit and I won't find a hacksaw, which would be really bad. So actually, in that sense, it would have been better if we spawned in Pleasant Valley or Fallen Muskeg or something, or even better, Hushtra Valley, and then get the hacksaw and then go to Timber Wolf Mountain. So that would be better, but we can't really choose it. And the other thing is, because forging is not a priority, we're now going to go and get as much clothing and resources as we can that are vegan friendly. But other than that, what we really need to do is basically treat it similar to a birch bark only challenge, where we need to go to the birch rich regions to get as much birch bark as possible, because birch bark is pretty much the only vegan food that respawns, other than the old rosehip and stuff that washes ashore. And that means that we need that for longevity. And also, it's the only renewable resource that has vitamin C in it that we can use to maintain scurvy. If it wasn't for that, it would be impossible, because you need fish, but we can't do that. And the best places to get birch, Ash Canyon has an absolute ton of birch. Pleasant Valley has a lot in the birch forest. Ravine has a lot as well. And then that's pretty much it, really. There's a small birch forest in Bleak Inlet and in Fallen Muskeg as well. There's some in Hushtra Valley and some in Coastal Highway, but pretty much it's Ash Canyon, Pleasant Valley and Ravine, which are the main go-to areas. And the far territory has some birch as well, but not a lot. So we really want to rotate Ash Canyon, Pleasant Valley and Ravine, and then the minor spots, and just get as much birch as we can. Okay, I might grab a torch. And I might sleep for 1 hour. Just to heal up a little bit. Okay, then we're going to make our way to Ash Canyon and get whatever we can on the way. Alright, let's see. Didn't boil dry, very good. Quickly, yeah, okay. I'm going to grab some torches, because we can still scare away wolves. It's perfectly fine to scare off a wolf as a vegan. We need quite a few torches because of... oh wow, that was a really bad one. We might pick that one up after though. Because we are going quite far. Let's just take a few more. This is probably good enough. Oh wow, that's also really bad. I think actually I want even more than this because of how far we're going. So let's just take another one. Let's do one more maybe. Let's also have a drink. We might go for starvation tactic. Usually, I always go for well-fed right away. I could have heated up my teas actually, but I will leave that. I always go for well-fed right away, because there's so much food even in Interloper to maintain well-fed from the get-go. Because there's so many cattails, there's food you find, there's carcasses you scavenge. It's not that hard really to go to well fed right away on Interloper. It's not too hard. But on veganism it's a little bit harder. because there's much more limited resources you can use. So we might have to go starvation tactic. If you're not sure what the starvation tactic is, it's basically that you don't eat any food except for when you go to bed, because the damage you take from starving is pretty small. Usually in survival games, people panic a little bit and like, oh my god, I need food. Oh, I'm starving. No, I'm gonna die. But actually, if everything else was fine, if you were warm... Oh, wait, that's my follow alarm. I haven't actually been able to figure out how to turn it off. I can't figure it out. It's weird because it's disabled, but when people follow me on Twitch, I get that. Anyway, what was I talking about? Completely it discombobulated me completely. Oh yeah, starvation tactics. So if everything else was fine, if I was warm, I wasn't tired, I had water, you only take 1% damage per hour pretty much by being hungry, which means that you could pretty much, if everything else was fine, you could pretty much survive 4 days without eating, which is quite long. In reality, in real life, you could survive even longer than 4 days without eating. So you don't have to really stress about food. The damage you take is so little. Now in Interloper, if you do a normal sleep, you can recover about 32% health by sleeping 10 hours. And if you are awake and starving for most of the day, then you might stay awake for, I don't know how long, let's say it's 14 hours. And you're going to take 14% damage, but you're going to heal 32, so that means that you gain 18% health, basically, right? Of course, this assumes you don't take any more damage, so it's perfectly possible to sustain yourself with just the starvation food. And this way your resources will last a lot longer. And you only need to eat about 6 cattails per day to do this. Oops. You just, because you need about, what is it, 750? I think it's 750 calories to sleep. Something like that. It was 600, I think it's 750. So you don't need that much. I'm getting cold now. Need to keep moving and spending a lot of time looting here. So we probably will do that, which means that we will not be at full health a lot because of that, and also we'll carry less stuff because we'll be hungry all the time, so we won't have well fed. If you go hungry for too long, if you go for a really long time without eating, eventually which is 24 hours or more without eating, your fatigue is actually affected by it. So if you starve yourself for too long, you actually start losing energy. So it's not a flawless tactic by any means. If you want to see people use starvation tactics, most veteran Interloper players do not use it. They just go for well-fed right away, because we know where all the food is and we know how to maintain it. There's the bear. No bear. Let's grab the birch that's over here before we head into Ashcan. But there is one streamer, Thomasina. She uses starvation tactics pretty often. So if you want to see someone use it regularly, outside of this video, obviously, Thomasina is a good bet. He's very good at that, and he's a fantastic streamer. So yeah, absolutely worth checking out. We like promoting each other in the Long Dark community because it's an amazing community, worthy of promoting each other, and Thomasina is worth watching. So check her out. Okay, here's some birch bark. Over there is a container as well. But we're not going to open it because we can't. There is, we need a hacksaw for that. We got some birch bark here, which is good. This will allow us to craft birch bark tea, which will give us calories, it will give us water, it will heal us as well, and it will give us vitamin C. We're kind of running out of torches there. Okay, I think we got everything here now. Let's head into Ash Canyon before it gets too cold. The one upside of playing vegan, a lot of these custom challenges like this, a lot of these, yeah, let's grab every plant we see pretty much. One upside to playing these custom challenges is often there's some sort of upside to the penalties that you don't necessarily think about, but they appear as you play. So in this particular case, in vegan challenge, one of the upsides is that you'll never have stink lines, because you'll never carry any meat on you, whether it's raw meat, cooked meat, guts, or whatever. You'll never carry any of that, so you'll never smell, and therefore you'll never attract predators beyond the normal range. So that's something that's like a benefit, you know. There are little things like that. Same thing when I did the mist challenge. If you haven't seen that, that's a video where the world is forever in thick fog, so you can't really see much, and the predators can detect you, but I can't really see them until they get very close. But an upside to that challenge was that the weather never changed, so there was never any wind, so therefore the fire would never blow out, for example. I also did a challenge which was Eternal Blizzard, where there was always a blizzard the whole time. The blizzard never stopped, which was quite a brutal challenge. But again, an upside to it was there were no predators around. So even some of these really brutal challenges with custom conditions, they have a silver lining, a minor upside to it. I might have to make a fire here, because it's pretty far until the next shelter. It probably will be Angler's Den, I guess. So we might have to make a fire soon. I think we'll do it in Ash Canyon rather than here. Just because it's quite sheltered there. We can loot the corpses. That's not non-vegan. But I can't pick up these feathers. That's not vegan friendly. Not that I can use it for anything anyway. And because we don't need tools to hunt, it's not really important to go to the forge. You could argue that it's still worth forging though, because you can make the knife and the hatchet. And the thing is that they could be useful. For example, the knife, well, it's used for crafting, but most of the crafting we're going to do doesn't really, it's not vegan friendly, but you can, there's minor things you need a knife for. Things like, you do kind of need a knife for harvesting pillows, old pillows, for example. So if you want more cloth, then the knife is handy for that. A hatchet is useful for chopping wood, although a hacksaw can do that too. But there are also some shrubbery that requires hacksaw to break down. Sorry, that requires a hatchet to break down. My mistake. How cool are we? I might use the piece of coal. No, we can use sticks. And also there's a couple places where you might want to use a hatchet to break down cabinets and that sort of stuff. I could map this, but we're gonna do this. So it's still worth forging in the vegan challenge. It's still worth it. It's just that it's not really that important. It's not really urgent at all. You can do this actually if you want to. I don't know if you noticed, but as I was going along, I always picked the lowest condition torch, because the reason I do that is because they all weigh the same, so they take up space in inventory. But if I use the lowest condition torches first, then you get rid of weight faster. And I always just click here. But what you can do is you can sort them by condition, and do it like lowest condition, and it'll always be at the top here. So you can do that, of course. Okay, while this cooks and while we wait to warm up, we might as well prepare some probably rose hips first. The rose hips are only really used for tea, and we can also use them for pies, of course. We'll see how the means to make those. There are vegan pies. There are some things in this game that we don't really know if it's vegan or not. But we're just going to go with what is generally considered vegan. Like, for example, the dog food. I don't know if it says what's in the dog food, but I think we can just assume there's meat in there.
Food.
Warming up, then. I think we're getting somewhere. Let's with that we can let me cook a raw sip tea. I would like to get the thermos, because then we can store teas way more effectively, and we're gonna have a lot of teas. That's for sure. Okay, I think I don't want to stay here for too long. Let's grab some more torches. We can make another tea though, probably, because by the time I grabbed all these torches, it's fine. And none of the vegan stuff respawn except for birch bark that respawns. It does also wash ashore. So between going to the high-end places with loaded birch bark and also checking beaches, beachcombing now and then, we should be able to find quite a lot of stuff. 8 minutes. We'll grab one more torch then. And then we'll see where we stay. We'll probably stay in Angler's Den for the night, I think. Yeah. Use this one. Let's just wait for this to be ready. But so far, the game is similar to a regular Interloper run, except you have less loot, basically. But as the more the game progresses, the harder it gets, because there are so many limitations, pretty much. So this isn't an easy challenge per se. It's kind of like Super Interloper in a way, because there's regular Interloper with all the usual challenges, but you basically, there's so much stuff you can't use, so you're very limited by the environment to a certain degree. It's just long-term sustainability is severely reduced, is basically what's happening here. Now here in Ash Canyon there's a load of cattails, so I'm going to pick as many as I can within the time constraints I got. How many tinders do I have? 12, it's fine. I'm not going to go around, you know, religiously and pick up every single one out of path, but I will grab some of them. And normally in a normal Interloper run, I don't pick up all the plant stuff. I do in the early game pick up as many cattails as I can, because the cattails are very handy to maintain well fed. But things like rose hips and mushrooms and things, I only pick up some of those, like enough to make a few teas. Then I leave the rest, just because then effectively they are stored in the world for me. So it's a, you know, I can pick them up later when I need them. We could actually maybe not go to Angler's Den. We could go to the Homesteader's Respite, because you can get combat pants there, which I think is probably vegan. There's a few clothing items we're just gonna have to guess whether it's vegan or not, because it doesn't really say what it is. Same with the foods. Let's drink a rosehip tea. This will warm us up a little bit. There we go. If you drink a hot tea or food when you're cold, it won't just give you the warming up benefit like this, but it will also warm you up, like literally warm you up. You can see my warmth has now increased. I think we can probably run a little bit, because we're going to sleep soonish. But yeah, it's quite a different, the vegan challenge is definitely different in how it almost feels like Interloper Plus, where you basically are very limited in what you can pick up and what you can do. But the main challenge of the vegan challenge, I think, is the long-term survival of how long can you sustain yourself. So like right now, for example, I'm picking up a ton of cattails, and then just that alone, by using starvation tactic, I can probably survive for quite a long time, but eventually it is going to run out. So what do you do then? Well, in the long run, the only thing you can really do is use birch bark, and that's pretty much it. So all these resources, even if I have a lot of them now, are eventually going to dwindle. So you're living on borrowed time. Even if I hoard a bunch of birch bark, it doesn't really matter, because eventually you're going to have to replenish it. So it should though be possible in theory, because birch bark does respawn, and not only does it give you calories, it also heals you back up. And there's some places with lots of birch bark. I don't know exactly how long it takes to respawn, but I think it's something like 10 or 12 days or something. So it's perfectly possible to survive. And I know it is possible, by the way, because if you're new to this channel, a little while back, a little bit over a year ago, I did a challenge called Birch Bark Only, which is exactly what you think it is. It is that I played Interloper, and the only thing I was allowed to drink was birch bark. And that's it. I can't remember if I was allowed to drink regular water also. I think maybe I was, I'm not sure. But I couldn't eat anything or drink anything other than birch bark, which meant that I would then use starvation tactic. I would go around and just starve myself as long as I could. And then I would usually stay up also for a few days. And then after I was low on health, I would then drink like 8 or 9 birch bark teas and then sleep 10 hours, and I would heal like 70% health or something like that. And then I would repeat that process every 3 days or thereabouts. So it's perfectly... and I could survive on it. I could survive on birch bark only. So then by extension of that logic, if it's possible to survive with birch bark only, it should be possible to also survive a vegan challenge, right? Because birch bark only and a vegan challenge, oh come on,
feel my feet.
It's the same thing, isn't it? If you do a challenge where the only thing you can eat or drink is birch bark, I mean, that is vegan, isn't it? But in the birch bark only challenge though, one difference was that you could still wear whatever you wanted. So for example, even though the only thing I could, in that challenge, the only thing I could eat was birch bark, I could still wear non-vegan clothing that would keep me warm, and I could kill animals to get their hides and craft stuff. I just couldn't eat them, was all. So there were a few benefits to that. So it is a vegan... the birch bark only challenge was a vegan eating challenge, but it wasn't a pure vegan challenge because of the items involved in it, if that makes sense. But in principle though, oh yeah, we got like scrolled message, survival hint. Yeah. We'll take the charcoal, why not?
So cold.
But yeah, if you can survive with birch bark only, you can probably survive with vegan as well. Now, the birch bark only challenge I did was before they added scurvy to the game. And when they have scurvy, it becomes a little bit harder because you need to do intakes of vitamin C. And whether it's possible to survive long term is a little bit hard to say. We won't really know until we get there, although it's probably possible to do maths on that. How many, vitamin C's do you get with just birch bark compared to with how often they need to be ingested and how often they respawn? So it's probably possible to calculate that to a certain degree in advance. But that is really the big question. When you get to the end of the road, where you've eaten all the plant stuff, you picked up all the plants, all the cattails, all the mushrooms and all that stuff, and you've eaten all of it, and the only thing left is birch bark. The question really becomes, can you still survive by occasionally only drinking birch bark? And the answer is that from a pure survival or health point of view, the answer is yes, because I've done it before. You can survive with birch bark only, but is it enough to maintain scurvy is the question. Does birch bark by itself have enough to sustain you? And I don't know the answer to that question, but maybe we'll find out. So there are some difficulties with being a vegan in this game, in a survival sense, and we'll see how it goes. What I do like about this challenge is the limitations imposed. If the challenge was strictly just that you can't eat meat or animal-based products, then that's one thing, but you also have to take into account whether things are vegan friendly, in the sense that the clothing vegan. I'm getting a bit cold here, but I am going to harvest, or grab rather, these cattails ahead. There are so many of them. Like Ash Canyon has a ton of cattails. I think there's over 200 in total or something. There is a list somewhere. I have it on my phone somewhere. I'm not going to find it though. It says exactly how many there are, but I think it's 200 or close to 200. Because there's a massive river and lake through the region. Here comes our wolfy friend. And there's also lakes at the upper levels and rivers, so there's quite a lot of cattails. Okay, let's scare this guy away by selecting our stone.
So hungry.
And we'll light a new torch. And we'll grab these cattails. We'll leave the rest, because over there on our right, there's even more cattails down there. But we'll leave some. Technically, yeah, this challenge is about finding as much plant food as you can. But there's also, we gotta be realistic in terms of how many we can actually pick up. Because we're gonna get cold. And we're starving in this now, so I think it's best to leave some of it for later. And then even when I think I have looted all the plants in the game, it's worth going around and seeing if you find more, because there's bound to be the odd cattail I missed or the odd rose-hip bush or something, you know. We'll leave those down there, but we'll pick these up. Now we're actually not going to go to Angler's Den. We're going to go to Homesteader's Respite, at least for now, because there can be good clothing there. That's the cabin that's up there. And you can get it by goating. It's not too hard, although it's a little while since I've done it. You go up here, go up this slope here, as high as you can, and then you just goat along the side of the mountain, and you'll get up past the rope. And you will get sprains though. So just go as high as you can, and just hug the wall. And just get as high as you can. But even if you mess it up a bit, I'm pretty sure that it's pretty forgiving when you get there. That you don't have to be too high up. You just need to get on certain ledges. So you just hug the wall here. Hug the wall here. Ow. And keep going. We're going to sleep this off anyway. And keep going. As long as you can get to this ledge here, I'm pretty sure you're fine. So it's not too difficult, really. And same here. You can go under this ledge, I'm pretty sure. I don't think you need to be on top of it. You just need to go on this side here. And then, as long as you get to this ledge here, and then you keep hugging, I'm pretty sure you can actually make it. And there we are. See? As long as you can reach like these stones, you'll be fine. So you see, it's not that hard. How many lichen do I have? 4. I need 2 more. I'm losing health from being cold, so we need to get indoors. Yeah, there's ptarmigans over here. They're behind the hut, I think. We're not going to do anything with those, though. Ptarmigans will only spawn if you have the DLC. And they are really strong. They're a really strong addition to the game. There they are. Ooh, run away. Fly, my friends. Fly into freedom. Because the ptarmigans, if you kill... Oh, it doesn't really matter if this blows out, because we're gonna sleep anyway. The ptarmigans, they give meat, same as a rabbit pretty much. And you can use their meat to make broth, which will give you hydration, calories, and warm you up. And you can use it to make other things as well. And you can use the feathers to make insulation and upgrade your bedroll. So the ptarmigans are really, really strong. Okay, let's loot here. So we got light shell. We got combat pants. And dog food. We don't need the rope. I mean, we'll probably attach it though. But still. Check all this stuff. We got peaches, firearms, but matches. I think these are guaranteed. This. Soup, nice. Alcohol. Anything else around here? There's the curtains, I guess. I guess that's it. All right, so now we could actually make a fire while we do some stuff. I mean, why not? Then we can make some more water. I would like to get more things to make water with. I only have my little can, so it's very limited what we can do here. We failed. Come on. Come on. Alright, there we are.
That did it.
Let's put on this, why not? We'll just make some water. We don't have anything else, so this can just burn out. Okay, we're gonna starve until we sleep pretty much. So let's see here. We picked up some stuff. So we got combat pants. It doesn't say what they're made of. This is heavy duty, reinforced knees. We don't know what this is, but it could be like it could be cotton or something. Or polyester, which I think is vegan, I guess. Now there's also it doesn't say, so I think we can just assume that military pants are vegan. You know, the only argument I can think of, there might be some wool in there or something like that, but I don't really know. And because it doesn't say, I think we're just going to assume that it's vegan friendly. So we can put these on with good conscience. And then we have the light shell, which is just like a raincoat, isn't it? Which is like plastic, kind of. So I think that's vegan friendly, isn't it? Because I don't think there's any animal products in there. I mean, sometimes these things include petrol of all things. So I think that depends on how you interpret it. So if you're really hardcore vegan, I guess, you wouldn't use products derived from petrol because that's technically an animal product, like oil isn't. It's been a while since I learned about this, but isn't technically oil non-vegan? Because isn't that like organic remains that's pressurized over millions of years from dinosaurs and things? I might be wrong about that. It's a long time since I learned. I think in practice, no, people don't think like that. So I think again, because it doesn't say what it is, we're just going to assume this is vegan. Now feel free to argue in the comments that it is or isn't, because I don't know. So some of these things we just have to assume is vegan or not vegan. It's hard to say. And you can amend this challenge however you want to be like more absolute hardcore vegan and a bit more liberal vegan, or you can go vegetarian. It's, you know, make the challenge however you see fit. I'm just going to go by the best of my ability to interpret these things. You know, that's pretty much it. So almost boiled. Let's drink a bit. We're going to harvest these curtains, because then I can make gloves and head wraps to avoid getting frostbite. Let's just do this first. Let's make some more water. And we can... Do I have enough cloth now? I don't have any cloth, okay. There's not a lot of cloth in Ash Canyon. One of the drawbacks of this region. Very, very little cloth. It's just mostly in the buildings, of which there are not many. Other than that, it's not a lot, really. 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. Let's just keep going. Make more water. We'll make teas later. Doesn't matter if you sleep into the night either, or into morning rather. Okay, how long is left of this now? 15 minutes, okay. Let's grab these curtains as well. And yeah, if there's any of you in chat, or rather in the comments, that are vegan, please do not hesitate to share your opinions on this run. If you think I'm doing something wrong, or I'm misinterpreting something, or you think I should be stricter, or more lenient, or something like that, you just let me know. And I probably won't change the conditions unless I completely missed something in the run, but I could maybe do another one if there's a lot of little things. We'll see. In any case, and now let's make some clothing, because we found a sewing kit earlier, so we can make gloves and hats. We might as well do that, because I don't know when we'll find it. There are cotton hats and there are cotton gloves, but we don't know when we're going to find it. So we might as well wait. And now we can put the hat on. And now we have... don't get frostbite there. We can make 2 of these. You can wear 2 of these hats, but we won't make that yet. Let's keep going here. Let's also make the gloves. Okay, and put those on. Now we are immune to frostbite. We're not going to get frostbite anymore unless we get drenched in and frozen. So we got that going. We can create another one of these, but I think we'll always wait. We can get the cotton toque or something like that, you know. Okay, take that and let's... how much water do I have? Yeah, it's alright, yeah. I could maybe make some birch bark or something. Let's have a little drink here, and while that cooks, we can make some more stuff. Actually, let's make a bandage. We don't have any bandages. We can go with 2 for now. Make another birch tea, and let's just create lichen bandages. We don't intend to be any wool struggles, but you never know. Let's make some more teas. Or we just make some rose sips. Prepare some rose sips here. I'll make 1 more, I think, and then that's it. Alright, then we're gonna go sleep. We're kind of low on health because we're starving ourselves. But I probably with all the stuff I got, because if you see, I got so many cattails, I could easily go for well fed in this challenge and be well fed for a while, but we're not going to do that. Also, let's see here. I picked up dog food. Now it doesn't say what's in here. Can I study it? Does it say like on the back or something? Yeah, actually here, if you look close, see? It says turkey and beef. Now, I think we could have safely assumed that this was not vegan anyway, but you can actually tell by the ingredients there that this is not vegan. Okay, cool. Now, we are going to eat some stuff. We're not going to open these cans because we'll lose calories by smashing them, so we won't do that. Instead, we're going to eat some of these. We'll eat like 6. I might not starve myself the next day. If my health is very low, then I might avoid starvation for a little while, keep my health up, just because we got a lot of traveling to do. Alright, so now we can sleep. We could also have repaired clothing, we'll do that another time. Let's sleep 10 hours. There you can see I have enough calories here. And yeah, let's do that. Let's go. There we go. Survived for 1 day. Very nice. And we're thirsty. I might, for a little while at least, avoid starvation. We'll see how long. But just to heal up a little bit as we go out. And let's also, I want to deploy this rope. That's nice. This one. On the anchor over here. Just because I probably will be back here at some point, and I might go this route, I might not, I don't know. But it's a bit easier to climb up here than going the shortcut route that I did. Just because then you don't get all the sprains and all that stuff. So we're gonna deploy this rope. And we'll go back in and sleep like an hour and warm up. There we go. There we are. Yeah, so we'll go back in. We'll sleep for maybe 2 hours actually to get fully rested. And then we'll climb back up. Actually, I think we might not climb the rope. We could do that. It takes us to minus folly. But then we don't get to go to Angler's Den. But we can always go to Angler's Den later. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's climb the rope. Let's sleep 2 hours first. There we go. Now we can leave. Climb this rope that's up ahead here.
I need to find food.
Alright, we got a nice sunny day. But we don't have a mag lens, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, look how fast we're walking. So this rope climb is pretty long. And I normally don't take this route. I sometimes call this the Rand route, because there's a streamer called Rand Alpha, which you absolutely should check out. He's amazing. Really friendly guy. Great TLD player. Rand_Alpha 1966. Anyway, he often does this route, where he will do exactly this. He will do this shortcut that I did, and then he will climb up this rope. I don't usually do it, because it drains so much energy and hunger doing it. It is, however, a shortcut up to minus folly and the gold mine. If I don't go this route, I have to go to Angler's Den, and then I have to go via Wolf Nest, and then I end up on the other side of minus folly. So it's a little bit longer, but if I did go the other route via Angler's Den, well, at least I get to loot Angler's Den, right? So it's not all bad, and there's cattails there, and you get to go through a cave and you get coal. So doing it that way, going via Angler's Den, is actually probably better from a resource point of view. But oh well, you know, I'm gonna do this way, because then we can go via the meadows that are up here, where there's probably a couple cattails. There's also saplings, which we don't need. I don't think we need saplings at all. There's nothing really to use them for. The maple saplings are made to use the bow and also the trawa, the sled. But and these birch saplings are used to make simple arrows. But the thing is though that the sled requires a deer hide, so we can't make that anyway. That's not an option. And the bow and arrow, what are we supposed to do with that, right? The only argument, it depends on how you choose to interpret this challenge. You could make the bow and then fire harden arrows. Because if you shoot a wolf or a bear, I think moose too, with a fire hardened arrow, they will run away. It won't damage them because the arrows are too weak to damage the wolf. So it's sort of similar to throwing a stone at them. and they will run away. So you could argue that you could make the bow and then make fire-hardened arrows to act as deterrents against animals, to scare them away. And also you can, with fire-hardened arrows or simple arrows, you could shoot an arrow next to an animal and that will scare them away. So you could use the bow as a scare tactic. Oh, so good. There is of course the risk that you will miss and hit the animal, and if you use simple arrows you will lethally wound the animal. But with fire-hardened arrows, if you shoot smaller games or ptarmigans or rabbits with them, you kill them. But if you shoot any other animals with them, they don't take any damage. They just they get spooked. Is all. Unless they have already detected you, then it doesn't really do anything. I think I will maintain hunger. I mean food a little bit, just to not take too much damage today, because we're doing a really long journey to the gold mine. I mean, it's really long. So I think we will avoid starvation for a little bit. But once we have the backpack, I think we probably will go back to starvation tactic. Wow, a lot of sticks around here, but we're not going to pick all of them up. Yeah, so it depends. Like, if you... It depends a little bit how you interpret whether or not you're allowed to hurt an animal or not. Like, are you really throwing a stone at an animal and then, like a wolf? I mean, you're technically hurting it, I guess, because you hit the wolf, but it's not like it's causing any lasting damage. So it just depends really how you choose to interpret it. If you make the bow and make fire-hardened arrows and shoot that arrow at a wolf in order to scare it away, does that count as hurting an animal and therefore it's not vegan? I think that's a little bit up to each player to decide whether that's true or not. I can't really answer that for you.
I wonder who owns this stuff.
Vegans in the comments, feel free to let me know what you think. Drop this chocolate bar, we can't eat that. So it's a little bit hard to say. I would make a fire here, but we're not far from Miner's Folly, and we can just warm up there. So I think we're just going to keep going. Yeah, so it depends. Similarly, if you throw a stone at a rabbit or a ptarmigan, you don't kill it. There might be a little blood stain on the ground, but they don't get hurt. They just keep going back at what they're doing. You can even grab the bunny that's stunned and then release them back. Just pet it and release it back. You don't have to kill it. But you know, you could argue, well, you are hurting the rabbit because there's a little blood stain on the ground, even if the rabbit doesn't die. So you see, there's a bunch of these little grey areas in this challenge. I think it's a little bit up to each player to interpret what we mean by not harming an animal in any way or at all. It just depends, really. I think, you know, I'm not that familiar with veganism. I am familiar with the principles of it. I am familiar with animal rights. But I'm, you know, and my sister's been a vegan for, I don't know, 15 years or maybe longer. I don't know. And yeah, no, it's I'm pretty sure there's layers of these things. I know there's also some people who I'm not sure what the name of it is, but there's some people who are vegans but they eat eggs, for example. So it varies, you know. I'm not going to get into any of that stuff, or which one is best or correct or most ethical, all that stuff. We're not going into any of that stuff. We're just going to play this as vegan as possible within the boundaries that the game allows, as far as we're able to interpret in the game what's vegan and what isn't. And some of that will be up to individual interpretation. But again, feel free to comment on this challenge in the comments. Particularly if you are vegan yourself, then I would love to hear what you think, and especially if you think I'm doing it right. Okay, we need to go inside and warm up. We're losing a lot of... Oh. Alright, this is the key key to the Angler's Den box. In that case, it's actually good that I came here first, and you can pick it up after. We're still going to eat a little bit. I don't want to take any hunger damage yet. Also, if I have all my meters full, then of course I'm also regenerating. So there's that too. Okay, so we're warm, but marginally so. We might actually take a little break here and just warm up a bit. Hey, peaches. Books for fuel, antibiotics, spray can. A lot of misc stuff I don't really need. But it might be worth taking a little break here. And repair some clothing. You might even stay here for a night, actually. Not really in a hurry as such to leave. Okay, let's see here. So, can we repair the combat pants? Yeah, we should, yeah.
I've been so hungry in my life.
Because they will warm us up a lot more. Yeah, I would do it again, I think. Yeah, we might stay here one more time. I think it's worth repairing this fully. Okay, let's see. We got, so this stale granola bar. This might be vegan. This is a little bit hard to say. Actually, I didn't ask my sister about this one, so I might have to make an executive decision here. Not sure I can read the ingredients. There we can. Ingredients: rolled oats, honey, almonds, pecan, salt, cinnamon, tocopherols. Tocopherols. What is that? I'm gonna have to Google that one. Please forgive me. Tocopherols. What the heck is that? Search that may be relevant. Tocopherol vegan. Vitamin E. Oh, okay. Kind of thing. Yeah, predominantly derived from plants. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, this one is vegan because there's nothing in it. That is considered unvegan, as it were. I should actually, now that I think about it, I didn't actually check the ingredients on all the other things. For example, this one, the Summit Soda, right? If you pick it up, you can look at the back here, right? So it says water, fructose corn, natural flavors, whatever that means, right? And then things like peaches, I think we can just assume that that's fine. I forget that you can actually read the ingredients for this. But I should actually have checked the chocolate bar, but it most likely did have milk in it. So this is all vegan. Okay, so that's good to know. So this one is actually vegan, this granola bar. Okay, cool. Now let's have a little look here at the our clothing situation. We should maybe repair. I think that's really the only thing to repair. Light shell. Let's repair that. And we're gonna stay here for a night or in the next building. We don't have that much water actually, but I think we'll be okay. Repair this again. It doesn't give that much warmth really, the light shell, but
all
okay.
I can think about is food.
Yeah, there we go. Now we are a bit better. We have plus 8 degrees warmth bonus. That's not bad, you know, not bad. Let's go up to the foreman's retreat, and then we'll sleep there, I think, for the night, because we got quite a long journey from here. The journey to the gold mine is pretty far, and we most likely need to warm up a bunch of teas and stuff. So it's worth sleeping. We'll do some inventory management too. I think we're carrying a bunch of stuff we don't need. Let's very quickly check up here. There is a little cave here. We can have misc loot, including a Polaroid, I think. There we are. There's a bed here, which we don't need. Here we are. Polaroid, I guess. Yeah. That's the vista. That's the high meadows. See if we get inside before we get cold. gonna take a marginal damage here.
Wait. I'm so cold.
Alright. Now another thing is, if we find lantern fuel, like the storm lantern, I'm gonna assume that that's actual lantern fuel and not fish oil. You know, because if you fish and you cook the fish, you get lantern fuel. But that's just like a comparison thing, and I'm gonna just gonna assume that if I find a jerry can or lantern oil, it's gonna be vegan. I'm just gonna go with that. Okay, then we have dog food, which is
always use more food.
Not vegan. Turkey, beef, chicken. Yeah, that's nice. You got flour. This is fine. It's just flour. Actually, it says in the ingredients there, actually. Wheat flour, malted barley flour, biosin, reduced something. Folic acid, okay. Again, dog food. Not gonna eat that. Salt. Skillet. We'll take that. Is that the recipe? No, it's not. It's a recipe in here too, you see. Potatoes. Definitely vegan.
I would drink almost anything.
These are leather shoes. We're just gonna safely assume those are not vegan. Here's our recipe for ranger stew. Yeah, it's one of the ones we found here, but that one we can't make, I don't think. That's like what's in ranger stew. Yeah, see, it's meat. There are some stuff that is vegan friendly, or the stuff you can cook. Look around some more. Whetstone, unlikely to need that, but you never know. Sprint. Flare. There, but it's on this thing, the bedroll. You need a knife to break that down. So that's one of the reasons you might want to have a knife. Okay, I think that's it. We might want to grab some cloth, but first let's do a little bit of inventory management here. Let's douse this. Let's also eat a little bit more cattails until we see here. Until we are safe, that we can continue. So let's see here. I'm carrying a bunch of books. I'm never going to use this field dressing guide. Drop it. I'm not going to use this small arms either. Unless the light's on fire, and I only need one book for that, so let's drop that too. Verify was really heavy, but that's okay. I want to harvest these newsprints, but we'll do that later because you need that at night. We got antiseptic. We don't need that because we have the wound dressing, so we can drop that too. It's too heavy. And then we got all of this stuff. It's vegan, we'll keep that. There we go, torch, let's drop the torch. You don't need the spray cans, not really anyway. You can drop that. The rest of this I guess we'll keep. We don't really need all the charcoal. We can drop some of it. And then we got all of this stuff. So we're a little bit heavy, but I think it's okay. Yeah, a lot of it is just wood and whatnot. Okay, so let's maybe... Is there anything else to repair? I don't think so. I think I'm going to craft some more bandages though. And we're going to do a couple things into the night. We need some more water soon, but we don't need to sort that out right now. Let's break down this cloth in case we needed to make some more repairs. I think this is enough. We can leave the other curtains. Okay. Stand in front of this bed, and we're going to do a few things. So we can craft some stuff. We can craft the other old man's beard, for example. We can make some rose hips. Make 3 of those. Usually I make these while making a fire or something. We don't really need to do that here.
I need to find food.
We might... Maybe we should... make a second pair of the hat, just to be slightly warmer. In fact, I might do that. We're not going to run out of cloth. Let's make a head wrap. Give us a little bit more warmth. And then we can keep this until we find something better. Right now, we now have a little bit more warmth in us. And that's good. The only thing with this... See, it says... I'm not sure about these shoes, because it says nylon shoes, right? As far as I can tell, nylon is vegan friendly.
Need to eat soon.
But then to repair it, you need cured leather. If harvested, you get cured leather too. So actually, now that I think about it, even though it says it's made of nylon, I think we have to actually say that these are not vegan. I think we just have to. Because if it gives you leather, then, you know, by deduction, there must be leather in them, right? So then they are not vegan friendly. That's a little bit tricky. I might have to think about that one. But what I might do is I might take them off, actually, but I'll keep them in my inventory, and then, you know, this video is recorded in multiple segments, so we'll figure it out. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. Is this vegan or not? I don't know. Now let's see. What else can we do? We can prepare some acorns, can we? Why can't I prepare acorns? Here we are. Prepare acorns. We need more acorns though to make coffee. Although we can use it for cooking too. And then we also have these newsprints. Let me just eat a little bit. We're gonna basically eat until the next day, I think. Then we'll be high enough in condition. Let's harvest these. The newspapers. Because the thing is, the shoes, if I think about it, there are not that many shoes to find, and I think all of the shoes you find, all of them, I think, give you leather if you harvest them, which means you can't wear any shoes. But at least you can wear socks, right? So, I don't know. I have to think about that one. But I think actually it's possible you're not allowed to wear shoes in this challenge. I think that might be a thing. We'll see about that. I'll think about it, but I think that might be the reality here. Okay, so now we're going to sleep. Let's eat. We can eat our stale granola bar that we discovered was vegan, and we can drink one of these Summit sodas. Maybe just drink 2 of them, and I think that's enough calories for now. And then we have a drink, and then we sleep. Then we go from there. 10 hours. Alright, 2 seconds. Okay. Alright, it's morning. We are dehydrated, so let's have a drink. And let's sleep another 2 hours to be fully rested, because we are likely to run where we're going. Now begins the long journey towards the gold mine, which is quite easy to get to, but it's fairly long. And also, it's in the open. So, before I head out, let's have one more look here. I'm carrying a bunch of heavy... I don't really want to be heavy.
Anything right now.
I'm leaning towards dropping the fir firewood. I think that's best. A bunch of teas. Got some food. Not a lot of water, though. I think this is fine. Okay, we're gonna go. And now if I get hungry, I think I'm gonna stay hungry and go back to starving from this point on, probably. Alright. Now there's only really one obstacle, and that's the bear. The bear could be in the way. And that means that we have to get around him. I could warm up for 2 seconds inside inside Miner's Folly, just to be warmer for slightly longer. Might be an idea. The bear's over in that direction, and we're gonna have to sneak past him. It's gonna be too hard with our stones, but it can be tricky. That bear is called Boris, or at least I call him Boris. Boris the bear. Let me just have a quick look around here in case I missed anything. Don't think so. Yeah, let's warm up in here for a second. We're almost at full health, so now begins starvation again. We can warm up by just doing this, I guess. Grab some cloth. Oh, barely warm her at all. So, oh, I get affliction risk from that. Let's drop something then. Let's drop this reclaimed wood. Okay, I think we'll just go in that case. Let's just go. We can run. We can warm up in the cave that's up ahead. Now I don't have a bedroll, so I have no way of sleeping other than the beds I find. And from here on, there are no beds until the gold mine. Except for one possible snow shelter that can spawn. So here's Boris the bear. Why do we call him Boris? Well, because he's Boris the arrow dodger. He just doesn't seem to die. On my main run, when I come here, very often I just straight up die. Not die, but get mauled because he always manages to get me. Now if you crouch, this attack range is pretty slow. I'm going to throw a stone over there. Get his attention. Try and keep him as far away as possible. There are shortcuts you can use also to get past this. Try and keep him busy for as long as we can. There we go. That's it. I think he's going to continue down there now. He's not going to go for us.
Cold is making my head feel thick.
Yeah, see, he can't smell us. So he's off. We can start walking now. Even if he detects us now, we're too far away, so he can't do anything. There we go. He avoided Boris. Bye, Boris. Now let's go to this cave that's up here. Possibly warm up in it a little bit, although I doubt we are going to. Let's pick up these rope zips here. We definitely have to make a fire at some point. We might make a fire in there, actually. I could have picked up that wood. And then get a bunch of teas going. And then we'll just drink them to get as far as we can. But I don't really want to take cold damage. Mainly because I'm using starvation tactic. Because I'm preserving my food. If I wasn't, I wouldn't bother too much about it. But I basically want to take as little cold damage as I can. Particularly because our gear isn't the best. Let's go into this cave here. This is where we would come out if I took the other route via Angler's Den. Right below us is a wolf's nest, pretty much. And the mine is actually, pretty sure that's the mine right there where my thumb is now. That's what the mine is. We're gonna go all the way around over there. Let's go in here and warm up a bit. We can make a fire also and cook some teas and warm some teas up. Then we can use those for travel. We can get pretty far with those hot teas. This means that we'll also get calories in us, but that's okay. Let's use a match. There's also coal and stuff in here, but I don't know if I care about looting that right now. Because then I gotta go up and down a rope. So I'm just gonna light a fire to cook some teas and also need some water. Okay, let's not use the book actually. Because the book will be handy later when it's harder to start a fire. Come on. There we go. Let's make some water. Douse this. Put reclaimed wood on there. And let's heat up our teas. You can heat them up by just placing them next to a fire. Keep in mind though that they could burn if you do this. So the way around that is to simply right click them like this. And then they reset. And what happens now is when they become ready they stay hot but they don't burn. Let's have a look at inventory again. I was thinking about it actually a little bit. And the shoes. they're a bit of a grey area because it says nylon. And that's good. But if you harvest it, it's leather that comes out. So that must mean there's leather in it. Like probably the soles or something. And I was thinking about it, and I think that... I think most shoes actually aren't vegan because there's always leather or something in it. Unless you get like cotton or plastic recycled shoes or something like that. So I think it depends. This one is a grey area. I think it depends on how hardcore you want to go with vegan challenge. Whether you consider this vegan or not, I don't really know. I think it depends on how you choose to interpret whether this is vegan or not. And just to be safe, because I'm not sure, I'm going to say it's not vegan, mostly because of this. If you're going to get leather out of it, by deduction there must be leather in it, regardless of what the description says, right? So I'm going to drop it. So that means I think that there are no shoes in the game we can wear. Because the other shoes we can find are work boots and what are they called? Trail boots and leather shoes and combat boots. At least an Interloper. I think those are the boots you can find. Plus you can make their boots. All of those have leather in it. So I think that means that socks is going to be our main thing that we can wear. Yeah. Okay. 7 minutes. We can, these are not hot. We can make some rose hips. But I can't really make that many teas because I need water. I only have a little bit. Let's make one more water. And then after that we're going to go. I'm just going to leave. Oh, there's nothing really for me to do as such, is there? No, not really. I'm going to drop some of these charcoals. I'm only going to be mapping a little bit, maybe, so we can leave that. You saw how handy the stones were there. They were quite handy, weren't they? We don't need antibiotics, actually. That's something we can leave also. We can carry it for now, though. Okay, I think we're good now. We can just pass time, really. And then we can take some torches, so we can carry the fire a bit longer. Doesn't matter too much if we get tired now. Put some sticks on here. How long has this got? 16 minutes. Get some more torches. And stay as warm as possible. Pass a bit more time. 2 minutes. There we are. Alright, let's take this water and go. Can't wait to find a can opener, because then I can open more of these cans and get more, make water. Alright, so now we got some teas. We're warm. And we got some teas. It's a nice day as well, and we're definitely going to run for a bit, because we want to preserve the cold, or warmth rather. Actually, let's check the... only -8 degrees. Because there's no wind, and it's approaching noon. At least in cover it's -8. That's pretty good. We can probably get pretty far. There's a rope. We don't need it, but if you want, you can take this rope with you. If it spawns, that is. Because you can use it to get down to the gold mine. But you don't need it, because you can go down. They're going to run a little bit. I'll probably drink only one tea, because we don't really... It's warm enough. It's still... So I don't know if we actually need to run. Let's just check over here quickly. Okay. Here sometimes you can find a little chocolate bar or something. Let's see if it's there today. No. Okay. Now it's actually -8. Yeah, it's really good. So it's barely cold at all. I might drink one in a very short while. I might drink one of my teas. And then I'll regain the warmth to full. And I'll also stay warmer so that I will drain it even slower. Let's drink a tea on the other side of this bridge. These bridges look really scary, but it takes a lot to fall off them. You can fall off them, It is possible, but you'd have to almost deliberately try. To be honest, I've seen like 1 or 2 people do it by accident. And you can always check for matches on these bridges. They shouldn't in general spawn on Interloper, but it can happen. Let's drink a reishi tea. We don't have to worry about keeping reishi tea for parasites because we're not going to eat any meat. There we go. Look at that, we're full warmth. And now it still feels like -8, even though I have the warming up benefit, which is a bit weird. But yeah, now we are nice and warm. But calories too. One of the reasons why it's not that cold, even though it's early game, and our clothing isn't amazing, it's +8, is because it's so early stages still. So on Interloper, the world is colder than any other difficulty. However, the thing is that the world gets colder over time. That happens on Stalker as well. I'm not sure what happens on Voyage actually, but it does happen on Stalker. But this happens over the course of 50 days. I don't remember the exact statistics or anything. It's not that important though. But basically, the world gets about 20 degrees colder over the course of 50 days. So by the time you get to day 50, this would be -27 and not -7, if that makes sense. And because of that, we are still early days, and the drop in temperature hasn't had any significant impact yet, and as a result, the world is just warmer, so it's easier to walk around like this. But yeah, if this was day 50 and I was walking around with this gear and like this, it would be close to -30. So it'd be quite different, you could say. It's not really clear to me if the temperature goes down a little bit every day, or if it's every now and then. I have heard that it goes down every 10 days. So what's that, like 4 degrees or whatever, every 10 days? That's possible. I don't really know exactly. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the end result. But that does mean that in the early game like this, if you can get decent enough clothing in the early game, then you should be good. Let's see, how much stuff am I carrying? I can pick up 1 of these cedar woods over here. Now, in terms of gear, there's not that much gear we can find that is vegan friendly. Well, there's some. All the wool stuff we can't use, so I can't use wool toques and that sort of thing, which is a shame. Aviator jackets and that sort of stuff, everything that's all, you know, leather. I think the hockey jersey is probably fine. Parkers are probably fine. There's some other cotton things as well, but we can't use any of the animal ones. Mackinac jacket, I'm not sure about that, we have to see. Might be okay, might not be. Let's grab all these roll zips. Also, by the way, if you get some random background noise here and there when I play, right now when I'm playing, it's absolutely baking hot here. It's not normally hot in Norway, but today it is really hot. And I have to have the window open, otherwise it's just like a sauna in here. And there might be some, you know, random people walking by or something like that. Just consider them like cabin fever voices or something. Let's switch to the lowest one. We're not far actually now. We're almost there already. So over here there's some really good loot sometimes. This is actually a cave, this little thing here, where the wood is. This is actually a cave. You can start a fire and it will not blow out. But what we really want is behind us. If when you come to this section here, what you want to do is you turn around and look behind you, and here you can find loot. Not so much now though. Ever since they did the loot balance, it's rare you find loot, but you can still find stuff there. I've found stuff there, but it's rare. Before, you almost always found really good stuff, like a lantern or boots or something like that. And you could even, on Interloper before, you could even find a bear coat there. And yeah, I'm not kidding. You could actually find a bear coat ready-made in Ash County, and it was a thing. But they changed that. I don't think that's possible anymore. There used to be also stim here. It used to be right there in the snow. Guaranteed. But they removed that too. We'll pick up all these rose hips there. Now we're almost at the gold mine, and we should be fine. And actually I was going to sleep in the gold mine, but because it's so warm and still, I probably can just keep going, to be honest. Because I was expecting to give this coal in it. We don't really need it though, because there's coal in the mine, but I'm going to grab them nevertheless. If they're a bit heavy, we'll just deal with it. I was expecting to run a bit more, because it was going to be very cold, but because we got there so easily, we still got decent energy. The weather's alright. If the weather's okay when we get out of the gold mine, I might as well continue. So here we are at this. We're approaching the gold mine now. It's right in front of us. There is a anchor point here. There we are. This is like the rope, whatever, to lower you down into the mine. And there's the mine right there. That's the mine. But you can't get down there without a rope, which is here. Oh, flare. This is the rope anchor. If you brought the rope that we saw earlier by the bridge, which can also spawn in that little mid cave I showed you earlier, you can attach it here, and then you can climb down. We don't need to. It's very, very easy to goat down. I can't grab these because I don't have a pry bar. It's a shame. Instead, it was very easy. You can just goat down. You can also go down this path down there, and you get to another rope anchor which has a rope, which you could take, but I wouldn't recommend doing it. Instead, you just go here. Let's go through these two trees on the right and go down here, and then you just pretty much walk down here. It's a little steep, so to avoid damage you can crawl down like this. Alternatively, just step on the side and go right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. D, A, D, A, D, A, D, A, D, A, D, A on the keyboard, and so on. And left and right, because you can actually move in mid-air in this game. So you can move inwards as you fall. This way you get down pretty easily. You might get a sprain though. We were lucky and didn't get one. And down here is actually a pretty neat area. There's a load of rabbits. So here's quite a few. There's a load of birch. There's ptarmigans up here as well. And we could actually maybe map it for the sake of it. Ptarmigans! Hiya! Flee! My friends. And off they go. And over here at the edge of this cliff is a corpse that can have some decent loot in it, especially on lower difficulties. Not so much an Interloper. But yeah, it's worth checking it out regardless. Could maybe map here, maybe. For the fun of it. Ah, there he is. That's a map here actually. Just for the fun of it. And here we are. So do you recognize where we are from here? You see over there, you see the bridge? And there's a bridge over there too. The bridge is that's the cave up there. Is where we were earlier. We made the fire. That's where we came out of. We made the fire in the cave, made some teas, came out of it, and then below us is a wolf nest. Right below us. And then we walked all the way around. There's a bridge over there, another bridge over there, and then all the way around we came here. And that's pretty much the route to the gold mine. It's not so bad actually. It's not that long, but usually if you have good weather conditions like this, you can more or less just walk it, and there's not really much of a risk to it, to be honest. But if the conditions are bad, like it's very cold or very windy, or even worse, a blizzard, then you're gonna have to run a lot, and you get cold fast. You might have to make a fire, and you gotta make sure you have light resources when you get there as well. So it can be a little bit tricky, but it's very linear. You're unlikely to...
Wonder if the owner's around. I'm just out of this stuff.
I'll drop there. And you're unlikely to... I forgot what I was saying. You need to basically run here and fight the cold, and also have light sources when you get there. And then you need to sleep, so... It's very linear. You're unlikely to get lost, because it's a very, very linear route here. There are no strays. There are no ways to really... You can't really get lost, because there are no detours. So it's a really straight road to get there, but in a blizzard, it's still quite taxing. I'm going to pick up all this coal.
I need to drop something.
Okay, we got some stuff. I'm gonna pick this up. We'll sort it out later. We'll go through it when we get there. I'm not gonna pick up that book. We don't need that. There's always matches in here. If they are not here, they can be here in like around here or on this chair. If they're not here, they will be usually by the workbench.
Freezing water.
Right. We're gonna pick up all the coal that we can. So it will help with the cold. Coal and cold. And there's usually a torch on the ground here too you can pick up, I think. And there's a bunch of wood, which I'm going to pick up now, but I'm not going to... Basically, I don't know if I'll use it. But yeah, there's a great source of coal in here, which will be handy later. We travel further. 2 pieces of coal will pretty much always warm you up, if one isn't enough. If you're in a blizzard and you just need shelter, just, you know, find somewhere, light a fire, put 2 pieces of coal on there. It's going to burn for like a couple hours or so. It's going to warm you all the way up and you'll be fine. Or socks. Okay, and then here we are in the mine itself. And here there's a corpse. And then on the right here, I always check, but there's usually never anything here, but I always check anyway. Then over here is our workbench, and here there's some good loot, including the most important one, which is the backpack. You can also get the crampons here. The crampons can also spawn on the summit. So that's something.
Handy.
And we got recycled cans, and I have 2 of those. In the plug, we'll pick up coal. Let's pick this up, we're not going to use it though. A granola bar, which is
just what I need.
That's the one that we can eat, yeah. Right. Now here's the backpack. You don't want to actually take this and leave it. I think it disappears. But you just take this and then you can carry more stuff. I'm going to assume this is vegan, and presumably it's just from cloth or something. What does it say? No, it doesn't say anything. Alright, there we are. Now we can carry more stuff. Oops. It's going to burn out. Whoopsies. Alright, well, we got this done. Yeah, accelerant.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Yeah, and there's the matches. And that's it. There's also a supply bin over here. Let's sort some inventory out before we go further. I think we will probably keep moving, I guess.
Thank goodness.
Granola bar. Wood. I will see though. Okay, so let's douse that. So I found a few things. Found accelerant. I'm just going to assume that's vegan because it's just, you know, petrol fuel basically. And then we found some clothing. So we found a wool scarf, which is great. But the problem is, it's wool. So we can't use this. Then we found crampons, which don't do much. And in fact, they reduce sprint, but they do give us protection. So if we do get up in an attack, at least we got that. So I might as well put them on. Crampons on socks. Wow. And then we found the fleece mittens. So these should be vegan. Fleece is just pretty much just cloth, isn't it? So I'm pretty sure we can use those. They are better. They aren't warmer right now because the condition is not very good. But once we repair them, they will be better. Yeah. So, should I repair it now? How much is 80%? 30 minutes. Yeah, let's repair it now.
I would drink almost anything about now.
Isn't his bed from here? It's pretty far. Now, it's better, as you can see. It's not a lot better, but it does better against wind and water and protection. And that's it. So this we can wear. Fleece is just like synthetic fiber, so that's vegan, I think. And there we go. And then found some food. So the pork and beans. I think you can fairly assume that that's not vegan because it's pork. Sardines, definitely not vegan. Drop that. Then we have ketchup chips. Now, this is probably vegan. Because it's just potatoes and probably salt and ketchup, which is tomato and some sugar or something. It's probably similar to like salt and vinegar. This should be vegan. Actually, we can check though to be sure. But I'm pretty sure it is vegan. If we drop it and then pick it up. It doesn't say the ingredients. But yeah, it most likely is vegan. I've tried. You can't get ketchup chips in Norway. In fact, I've never even seen them in Europe. I've been through most of Europe. And I've never seen ketchup chips. Like ever. But a few years ago, some really nice viewers of mine, Slick Subversive and Dabbing Squid and Peanut, was it peanut butter? No. Creamy butter, that's it. They sent a Canada package to me. I have a business email on my YouTube, so that, used to that sort of thing. And they were sent with a bunch of Canada stuff, including Justin Trudeau socks and fun facts about Canada and a wool toque and all sorts of things. And they came with some ketchup chips, and they were quite nice, similar to salt and vinegar chips. But anyway, this should be vegan. The only reason I looked at it, it looks like it should be vegan, but I remember once going to a shop with my sister, who again is vegan, and when we were choosing chips to eat, of all things, she chose the beef flavored one, and I was like, "Aren't you vegan? Like beef flavor?" And she said, "This is going to sound weird," she said, "but actually the paprika chips are not vegan, but the beef ones are vegan." Well, how does that make sense? Well, it's because it's not actually beef in it. It's like beef flavoring, like synthetic flavoring, like spice they put in to make it taste like beef, but it's not actually beef. But the paprika one has some sort of gelatin or something in it. So she was a vegan eating beef chips because the beef chip was vegan. Now, but because of that, when I see ketchup chips, I want to make sure that that actually is vegan. But because we can't see the ingredients, I think we can safely assume that it is vegan. So I'm going to go with that. Okay. So, I was going to keep going, but I'm not sure if I want to. Because it's getting late and I don't have much energy. The problem is beds. Nearest beds. Oh, actually, we can go to Angler's Den. Yeah, I was going to go to the bunker and sleep there, which is quite far. But actually, we could just go to Angler's Den, which isn't far at all. And we could sleep there. And we can get the memento cache as well. Yeah, let's do that rather than staying here. We'll do that. And we have to go through some wolves, but I think we'll be okay. Yeah, I think so. Here's also some stuff. Is this more fleece mittens? We don't need those anymore, but we'll take them. Not too worried about mittens and hats since we can make those. Those are the least worry. But everything else, if it gets damaged in a wolf attack and ruined, it's just gone, you know. But yeah, so now we're gonna head out.
Tongue feels like sandpaper.
And we're gonna make our way down to the bottom of the gold mine, of the mountain connecting it, and we're gonna make our way to Angler's Den. And we'll find a little bit of birch along the way, and we'll, on the way back out of Angler's Den, we'll also find lots of birch, like a lot of birch, which we're going to pick up. It's not particularly dark yet. Or warm for that matter. How cold is it? -5 degrees, that's nothing. Let's have a drink. We're not meant to be dehydrated here. So this is a one way. Once you go down here, you can't get back up. Except with some clever goating. But now we are between two rope climbs. Up there is the back entrance to the mine. Up here is the rope that I talked about earlier. This leads up to where we were, to the entrance of the mine. And then there are two ropes leading down here. It's 11. And we're going to climb those ropes. You can goat down here. It's not that hard because it is sloped, as you can see. But I think it's better to just climb down, I guess. Oh, I'm too heavy, of course. Oh yeah, I'm actually quite heavy. I guess we're goating then. I guess we are. Just look for ledges that are not, that have a little, like little incline on it. There is a route here that's perfectly safe, but I very rarely go down here, so I don't know the route. But there is a route you can take that is guaranteed to not take any damage. But I almost never go down here, so I don't know it. But just, you know, just look for little safe passages here and there. It should be fine. It's actually quite easy to go in the long dark because the sides always have some sort of slope to them. A-D. D-A. 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 And as you can see, that wasn't so hard. And now we're down by this campfire. And there's usually not much here. Sometimes there's some food here. There's also on this ledge, right up there, this ledge, there's a backpack there and some wood. I did miss out on that, but nothing here really. And then there's a rope again over there. And down here there can be a moose, which wouldn't be great. And we can go down here too. This one is quite easy, I think. Even easier, that is. Because you have this slope right here. So you just get down here on this part. And then you just pretty much just go straight down here. And that's it. So it's very easy to goat down. Most places in the game can be goated down. It's just pretty much everywhere. And actually, I have a T-shirt that's going to come out on sale soon in my merch store that says, "Can you goat it?" The question is, "Can you goat it?" The answer is always yes, or something like that. So yeah, I can't think of any way where you can't goat down. A lot of people will say, well, ravine, you can't go down a ravine. But you can. There are two ways to do it. I have my route, and there is another one. Well, actually, I'm not sure I want to go that way. I think you can get stuck that way. I'm not 100% sure about that. I think I prefer going this way. I took a bit of damage doing that, but I am not 100% sure if you get stuck here. To see. Nah, it would have been fine. It would have been fine. But I don't usually go down here, so I didn't want to take a risk. But yeah, as you can see, it wasn't hard. Here, the ravine, you can easily go to ravine. It's just that you got to know where to go. There are ways to go to avoid it. There are two routes at least, if you want to see it. I don't have a video about it per se, but I do it in many videos. There's also an alternative route that you can see by a YouTuber called Archimedes LP. Just look up Archimedes the Long Dark and you'll find him. And he's got a video on how to do it. He actually has a video on how to go up from ravine. You can actually go back up, which is tricky, but doable. Okay, let's listen closely. Is the moose here? I don't think so. Can't hear any coconut feet. I took a little bit more damage from that than I would have liked, but that's okay. Okay, I think we're going to keep moving now, so we're going to head to Angler's Den. I'm a bit colder than I would have liked. Taking a bit more damage than I would have liked. But that's okay, we're going to recover in Angler's Den. And we'll use a torch if necessary. We're going to pick up all of these birch barks here, because we need all of those for food and vitamin C.
That's smart.
And there's some of them around, not a ton, but there's some. But further up, there's loads of them. So we're gonna get those later. There's all the deer hanging out. Look at this birch bark here. And later in the game, we pretty much just want to rotate behind, or around rather, all of these birch forests and stuff like that. We just want to go from birch forest to birch forest to get as much birch bark as we can, really. But it will be our only source of renewable vegan food that also has vitamin C in it. So we need to get everything we can get our hands on. I wouldn't mind running, but both feet have been sprained, so I'm just gonna tank it and heal a bit. Might even drink some birch tea. And we're gonna go ahead. Now I need to have a flare ready. You could use a torch, but flare is just as good. Because we have to go through a little wolf nest now to get to Angler's Den. You can actually spawn here. It's the only spawn, it's not right here, it's around the corner, but it's the only spawn I know of in the game where you spawn and a wolf can detect you as you spawn. You're like, oh, Mashkin, woof. Oh, hello. It's the only place where that happens. We're taking a lot of damage. Also, I took some fall damage now. Okay, here we gotta be a bit careful. There can be 4 wolves here. You used to be kind of protected through this barrier that existed here, but it's gone now. Let's see here. Just listen carefully for wolf steps. I don't smell, but they can still detect me if I'm close enough. And there can be a wolf like right here. There's one right there. Let's just try and distract it. You can actually, you can spawn over there. In that direction. Okay. That's one wolf. Another one down there. Let's go this way. The wolf on my left too. Hear it.
Feel so good.
Wolves everywhere. So many wolves.
Feel so good.
Could hear the little paws in the snow. I think we're fine now. Taking a lot of cold damage here, but I don't mind. I don't really need to worry about it because I can just heal up in Angler's Den. I need to check how much water I have though.
First aid soon. That smarts a bit.
There you go. So normally I don't actually go to Angler's Den after that route. I just head straight out to Tin Wolf Mountain. But in this case we're going to go ahead just because we can sleep here. And we can also we can recover some health. And we can loot it, of course, including the memento cash. Yeah, we're taking a lot of cold damage, but it's okay. We'll heal it back up. There we are, Angler's Den. Is there a marine flare here today? It spawns here sometimes. Nope. Let's check out this memento cache.
Excellent.
Hey, whitefish. Rainbow trout.
Excellent.
Smallmouth.
Just what I need. This pack is getting too heavy
Wow,
to
so
carry.
much fish. Yummy. So much food, so much oil. And we can't eat any of this. Not vegan. So we're gonna drop it. And cure in the snow. And here we are. Let's have a drink of water. So in here, in Angler's Den, there's guaranteed matches, if you didn't know. When you come in rather, go straight. And then you just, even in the dark, you can do this. Just crouch, go right, and look down. And then it's right there.
Getting kind of thirsty.
Got spray paint we don't need. Got ketchup chips. Just added, no you're not. I just picked one up, you liar. oil, presumably vegan. More matches. You can find, oh wow, 3 matches today. Look at that. That's a lot of matches. You're guaranteed to find 1, but you sometimes find 2, and this time I found 3. Okay, put dog food, we can't use that. There's a shooting guide, we're not going to use that, so put that away too. Yeah, 3 matches, how about that? A lot of matches. Okay, check the trunk. And then here there's arrowheads.
Could end up being
Actually, you
useful.
probably won't be needing tools. Yeah, we can take those. And I guess that's it. We can make a fire if we want to. Can, yeah. Okay, let's do some inventory here. So, I think we're going to stay here so we can harvest these gloves here. And I think we're good now, actually, yeah. I don't think we need the scrap metal, I just leave it there. Yeah, we got some stuff. Things are looking decent. We can craft some stuff until we can sleep 10 hours. We really want to sleep 10 hours. And I might eat a little bit of food, just to heal up a little bit while we pass some time. We can eat some cattails. Actually, is anything low condition stuff to eat? Yeah, we can eat the ketchup chips, I guess. Eat those. Yeah, that's fine. And then have a drink, a little bit of a drink anyway. And then, I think we'll just pass time. Can we repair anything of note? Or not really. We can repair the plaid shirt, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. Minor improvement. We can repair the socks too, I mean, because they got a bit damaged. They don't really give much at all. They're terrible socks. But they're better than nothing. And I guess that's it. And then we can craft. We don't have much water, so I could make a fire, but I think I'm going to do that later because there's only 1 slot on this stove. I can, however, prepare some reishi and all that stuff. I want to be able to sleep 10 hours before I go to bed. You can look how many rose tips I got. I got so many rose tips. I think we can probably go to bed now. We'd sleep 10 hours. Let's see if I can find a bed. Bench crate, a table chair. Should be this way. I'll just see, and there a bed. Okay, we're gonna eat a couple of these, and we're gonna drink both of our birch bark teas. We heal a little bit more, and then that's it. It doesn't matter if we save them or not, because there's still basically there's no point saving until the end when that's the only thing. Because what difference does it make if I use them now rather than later? The found food lasts longer instead. It doesn't make any difference. There we go. Look at our health, how much we recovered from that. Lots of stuff. And what time of day is it? It's early morning, so it's going to be freezing cold. And I think I'm going to do what I did last time. I'm going to eat a little bit to maintain hunger, to not take too much health damage. And then I'm going to drink some water, and then we can go, I think. Yeah. A bit heavy is the only thing. It's something I can drop. We're going to make a fire soon anyway, I guess. We can... There's so much... I guess we don't... We got so much wood. We can drop this wood, yeah. And we got a ton of tinder, so I think just drop all this tinder. A couple sticks. There we go, we're good to go. How about that? The exit should be over here, I think. Oops. I can't be able to like look around. Let's just there we are. And just save. Okay. Alright, so now we're gonna head out of Ash Canyon and ideally try and get to the summit. We're gonna go through like this birch forest first. And we're gonna pick up every cattail we can first along the way. We will have to light a fire because we're gonna get too cold. It's early in the morning, so we're definitely gonna get cold. We're already training really fast. But that's okay. We're just gonna warm up some teas. Take that with us. It'll be okay. I'm heavy now actually, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Look how cold I am already. Like we barely moved. I want these cattails, you see. And we're gonna head up to Climber's Cave area, but we're gonna do it via the birch forest. We definitely need a lot of teas for this. We're gonna pick up most of these cattails, not all of them though. We have to light a torch also. How windy is it? I think it isn't. I think once I see a wolf, I'll use flare or something because it's a bit too windy right now. Yeah, we're already getting cold. A little bit of cold is fine, but we need to be a bit careful. And because it's so windy, I'm not sure if a torch will blow out or not. I might want to use the flare instead. Sun's coming out, but we don't have a mag lens. Ah, there they are.
Freezing.
I think we'll try and scare these wolves off. Okay, we can just walk past them really, because if you have a flare, they won't attack you.
Looks like I made it through another night.
Flares work differently than torches. Let's make a fire over here.
Never been so hungry in my life.
Like here or something. Let's see. And starting a fire also is the same as having a fire, so the wolves will not attack while you're making a fire. There we are.
Fire's light.
Let's put some coal on here. And we need to warm up, but we also need to make teas. Hey, where's my other... Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay. Then we can warm up our 2 teas. Oh yeah. Alright. So the way it works with if you're not familiar with it, with walls and torches and stuff. If you have a torch in hand and then you drop the torch and aim at them, they always run away. That works with any fire source, including flares and campfires and so on. But when a wolf charges you, if you have a torch, it will stop and it will hold its ground for about 5 minutes. 5 minutes. About 5 seconds, and then you can scare it away. Oh, with flares, that doesn't happen. With flares, they kind of do it indefinitely. They just do it until as long as the flare is burning. Same with campfires. So back there, because I lit a marine flare, I could pretty much just walk past the walls. I didn't really have to worry about anything. I think I want to do one that cooks and one that does water. So I could just walk through the walls pretty much. Okay. I'm gonna keep doing this so we have enough teas pretty much. Oh, I think the wind changed. Yeah, we got a blizzard on our hands. Okay, well we got these 4 teas. That's something. We'll have to light another fire further up. It'll do for now. Waiting for this to be boiled. Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna run. We will have to make a fire out here. But we can wait a little bit. So now we want to get as much birch bark as possible. But it's a blizzard, it's a bit annoying because it makes it harder to see where the birch bark is. So we're just gonna have to grab where we can see. But we're going up this slope. And then we go into a... let's just drink one right now. Into a birch forest. Okay, so from, yeah, around here is when the birch starts. There is also a cave up here. We could stay there for shelter. Maybe after we picked up some birch bark. I think it's up there. It's around here somewhere. There's the birch bark at least. It might be up there. Pick up as much birch bark as we can. We don't really need sticks, I guess. We have so much coal. But we need all the birch bark we can get. I think we just keep moving for as long as we can. And look for all the birch bark in the world. And this is teas, it's health, it's warmth, it's cooking, and it's vegan. Drink another one of these spicy teas. Actually maintaining hunger this way, but that's just a coincidence. Load of birch. So this area has tons of birch. And the birch forest in Pleasant Valley also has tons of birch. And the ravine has a lot of birch too. And every other area just has some birch. I'm going to keep doing this until we run out of teas. Or we get to the shelter we want. There should be a passage up here that I want to go to now.
Can't feel my feet.
Is it here? It's a bit further. Here it is. This passage right here. This leads to the upper birch forest. There's not that much birch there, but there is some. So I'm gonna go there. And normally when I start new runs and end up here, I don't go here.
Too cold to think.
To the upper birch forest. I only loot the birch bark that's down there where I just were. And I don't come up here. Just because I don't really feel it's worth the detour. But this time we are going to do it, because we need as much birch as possible. And then we'll probably go to the Timwolf Mountain transition cave, where we can warm up. Or let's make a fire in the open. Okay, so let's keep an eye out for birch here. Okay, one more tea. Yeah. That's the last of that. Not a lot of birch here, as you can see. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then sometimes there's a backpack around here. You might as well check for it as we're here. 5, 6.
Need to find some place to escape this cold.
There's some. Tempted to go down into that cave, but
I'm gonna have to leave something behind.
should be some more around here somewhere. Well, that's the campfire I was thinking about. Nothing really to it.
I'm freezing.
Oh, we got 6 birch bark out of that. Now we're here at this slope that leads down to where we were, which I think I'm just going to use. Rather than going back. Yeah, we'll do that. This way is better. So the cave I'm talking about is somewhere over here, I think. I don't know where that cave is exactly, but it's not a big deal. We'll just make a fire in the open. Probably going past it. That's alright. Alright, we'll make a fire somewhere over here. Just to warm up and make some teas. It doesn't matter if the wind changes, we got so much wood. Alright, let's make one over here. This is a bit better cover. Right here. Here is good. There we go. Now we can warm up, we can make some more teas, and if the blizzard still rages, we can keep going after.
Come on.
That cave is called like Stone something cave. I almost never go to it. I've been there like once, but I don't really use it. I think it was a bit further back. Alright, there we are. That should do it. Let's again use one for teas. And one for water. And then we'll craft some while we wait as well. Did the wind turn? Really? Did it? Didn't look like it would, but... well, we can get around that, I think. By doing this. And then making a new one, like around here, something there, for example, or yeah, it's even a bit more, a bit cleaner. We wasted 2 coal doing that, but it's not a big deal because we're gonna have a lot of coal. Because we're gonna get some more coal going to Timor Mountain. Come on, you can do this. So if it wasn't for the fact that we were doing starvation tactic, we were looking really, really strong, probably close to full health. But because of doing starvation, we are losing a bit more health than usual.
Turned out pretty well.
All right, let's see it. That's done. 7 minutes. We can move that. I don't know if you knew you could do that, but you can. Okay, 5 minutes, we can craft a birch bark. That takes 5 minutes. Yeah, 1 tea here. Not a grid surface to place the teas on is the only thing. Oh well. I know, it's rinse and repeat. Gonna keep doing this until we cooked all the teas. Can I place this? How about here? It's kind of odd because it's on an unusual surface, that's for sure. Thermos would be good, but it doesn't really matter when you're in a blizzard. Let's keep going. This is a strong blizzard. Make all the rosehip teas. The reason I'm prioritizing the rosehip teas is because they give more warmth back when you drink them. So they're better for traveling than birch bark. But birch bark though is renewable and also heals you. I think that's it, right? Yeah. Alright. Now we can just pass time, I think, because we've done everything. Yeah, I think so. I could cook the acorns, but we don't really need to. Yeah, we got a lot of food. Not worry about food at all for a while. Such an odd setup, this. Let's just keep going. It would be nice if this blizzard ended. That would be very nice. Then it would be a lot easier to travel. But it is what it is. So many rosehip teas. I think I ever made this many in one go before. 12 minutes. Are you gonna end soon, Blizzard? This is taking a really long time. You're getting a lot of cooking done though, which is good. Slowly going through this water here. So many teas. That is great. Let's put on a couple of sticks here. It's slightly faster to make the teas than the water. I'm losing water doing this, but it's alright. Now I can't, I don't have the water for it anymore. Too far away. Where's close enough? Can't place it? Oh, here we are. That's such an odd tea circle, this. Let's make birch tea. Another birch tea. But did I burn one? Oh damn, I burned one by accident. Didn't reset it. Whoops. Like 2 waters. This is so weird. This is a really weird campfire. A really long blizzard also. Really long blizzard. Alright, let's keep going. I'm gonna drink some water actually. But not too much, because I'm gonna drink tea soon. I think it's ending. Yeah. Hey, cooking level 2, how about that? Sure I can't place any of them here. Too far away, isn't it? That's fine. We got so many birch teas we can make. We'll do one more walk around. And I think then we've probably done enough for now. Still not close enough. This is so bizarre. We could just drop it from the inventory though. Alright, fine. Is it this one? Yeah. Just stand here and drop it. That. There we go. Okay. Wow. Look at this weird campfire. Just living off vegan teas here. There's no angle that does this campfire justice. This will be the closest, I guess. It's really bizarre, the whole thing. Look at that. Let's just take a moment here. This is like a smorgasbord of vegan teas. Make another one. And this is almost done. Put a couple more on there. And drop this tea. All the way over there, okay. Why did you drop all the way over there? Oh, it really drops it all the way over there for some reason. How about if I do it here? Yeah, it just won't let me... Okay, what about here then? I'm just going to stand right here. That's it. Well, what does it look like if I... Because I've never made a fire here before, this is odd. Drop like, I don't know, 20 of these. Oh my god. This looks so messy. Oh yeah, we can drop our... Look at that. This is a vegan challenge. There's teas and cans everywhere. What a mess. I had to take a high quality screenshot of that one. That's you click F10 on the computer to do that. It removes the HUD and takes this high quality screenshot. I think this sums up a vegan challenge right here. Tons of teas because they're all plant based, cattails, and also like fruits and vegetable stuff you find, and that's it. All right. Let's pick up all this stuff and let's go. I think we've done enough. We can cook more birch tea, but we don't really need to. I want to keep going also. It was a long blizzard, this was. Let's make... Or grab a torch, rather. Let's take all of these teas with us. So many hot ones. Oh, by the way, sometimes people ask me when I do make tea circles like this. They ask me, why do you warm up all the teas? Like, even if it's really cold, like you're only able to pick up like... Sorry, you normally are only able to drink like 3 or 4 teas. If there's a blizzard, you might be able to drink more, like maybe up to 9 or 10. But you're not going to be able to drink all of them. So people often ask me, why don't you just warm up like 5 or 6? And that's it. Well, the reason you warm up all of them is literally just to save time. Because when I'm cold now, if I go on the radio menu like this, all of these teas will be warm. See? But if I warm up, say, 2 teas, then I can do like this. And maybe one of these are warm. Maybe none of them are. Maybe the warm ones in the inventory. But then you got to fiddle about. You got to look in the inventory and this and that. It's a lot of hassle. Figure out which tea is the warm one by doing it that way. So it's best to, if you can, warm up all the teas so that you always have a hot one ready. Alright, we're going to head to, what we're going to do now, we're going to head to the bunker that is next to Tim Wolf Mountain entrance. We're going to sleep there for the night, so we're fully rested. And then we should be able to get up to the summit without any help, because we don't have a bedroll or anything. However, I think you're guaranteed to find coffee in Climber's Cave. So if we don't make it, we can always go there. It's had a Climber's Cave or the Transition Cave or something like that. So we're gonna go, well, to get to the bunker, which is pretty much up on those mountains there. We're gonna have to take a little trip. Let's drink a birch bark, because we're not that high on health. You can always drink that first. They don't warm up as much as the other teas, but it doesn't make any difference. Especially now, because now it's not that cold. We could drink another one though, just to warm up some more. There we go. Now we'll heal a little bit more too. I'm not going to run unless I have to, because I don't have a lot of fatigue. So I might, I don't have a lot of energy left. I think, I could be wrong. It doesn't make sense, but I could be wrong here. But I have a suspicion it's going to be an aurora. I very faintly heard this like little aurora noise. That doesn't sound right. Shouldn't be able to predict it like that, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're gonna head up, basically up there. And usually around here there's also some deer carcasses. If you're playing this normally, it's a good time to also grab some meat and some deer hides and whatnot. But for this, nah. So now the bunker is up there, straight ahead up at the top there, but we can sleep. The bunker was added with DLC Part 2, which was in, when was that? February, I think it was. Was it February? Maybe in April. Oh, not March. I don't know, which in 2023. It was about a year ago. Before that though, the tactic I'm doing now would still work, because just behind the bunker there is a bed in a cave, like an open air cave, and you can just sleep there instead. It's just you need to have fuel for a fire, but you can sleep there. So it'd be the same. I think there's some wood over there, but we don't need it. Over here in the past it was actually possible to find a flare gun on Interloper, which is very cool. But it was always empty. It's one of the rare chances to get a third flare gun. It was just laying here. And look, we can actually sleep here too. No shelter. I'm not going to do that though, I don't think. Although it is tempting because it's closer to the entrance. But I think I want to go into Climber's Cave anyway, so be good. I think my teas might be cold now. Yeah, they're cold. When I'm getting a bit cold, I'll start another fire. I'm not sure if it's necessary though. There's a couple more birch bark. We'll pick those up. I got 4 more, that's nice. Do need more torches soon, so I should maybe make a fire regardless, just to make some more torches. You only have 2 torches left. It feels weird to pick up so many plants when I normally leave them. You know, in a normal Interloper run I pick up some of these, but I have enough to... I always like to have some handy. I like to have all of the teas handy in case I need them. But I don't usually pick them all up. Maybe a little bit more often in the beginning, just so that I have the option to travel through blizzards and stuff like that. But then I kind of just, once I got through the early game, I hardly pick any of them up. I just pick them up whenever I need them. So here I'm picking everything up. Just because they're plants, they're food. So you gotta use everything you can in the environment. And I very easily could have gone for well fed here. Because there's a lot of cattails. And on a normal interloper run, you pretty much, you know, rely on cattails for well fed. Although you can do it without it. You can use farm meat and that sort of thing. But the reason I'm not really going for it is primarily that in the long run it's not sustainable. I think if I go for well fed, I will burn through the food reserves pretty fast. And I think I'd rather just take it slow. Let's climb this cave. There's some cattails around this lake too, but we're not gonna detour and grab every single cattail we see. We'll do that another time, like later in the run. We'll pick up these though. We'll pick up these rose hips that are here. And here's Climber's Cave. There should be a bit of misc loot here. Might actually make a quick fire here. There's our campfire.
If I don't rest soon, I'm gonna faint.
Yeah, here's you can see those matches. I think those are guaranteed. Not 100% sure on that, but I think they are guaranteed. There's a lot of guaranteed matches in Ashcan. You always find in Angler's Den. You always find in Goldmine. I think you always find in Homestead's Respite as well. And I think you find them here. I think there's 4 of them. Yeah, could be wrong about that, but I think that's correct. This is one area that has a lot of make water. A lot of cattails. And it's still a tea circle drop one this time. Sardines can't use that, so let's put that away. Let's place all of them. I like doing it with this. You could just drop them from your inventory. And then they will probably stack and you can just do it like that. But then it's a little bit harder to reset them. That doesn't look as nice. This is a tea circle, so this actually has some history in the Long Dark. Because it used to be done a different way. I can't even remember how it used to be done before. A big smile. But then the developers patched. I don't remember exactly what they did, but they patched it so that you shouldn't be able to do a tea circle anymore. And so that it killed that tactic. But then someone figured out all you need to do is reset the teas and the same thing happens. And then they didn't try and patch it again. And I think that's alright actually. They did basically make a patch to stop people from basically exploiting doing this, having teas hot all the time. But if you think about it, it's not really that much of an exploit. In real life, like if I put a bunch of teas next to a fire, like they wouldn't burn and they wouldn't be that hot either. So I think it would make sense that you could realistically do this and have a lukewarm tea at the very least. So I don't see the problem with it really. Not that you should aspire for realism anyway, because there's a lot of stuff that won't make sense if you stop to think about it. Like where did Mackenzie get these teacups from anyway, right? Or these water bottles. The game isn't meant to be realistic. It just has realistic aspects to it. What a wide grin of a smile this is, eh? That's pareidolia for you. Okay, we didn't get coffee. Pareidolia, by the way, is the psychological phenomenon where things look like things that they are not. This looks like a smiley face, but it's not a smiley face. It just looks like one. If I look up at a cloud and say it looks like a turtle, obviously the cloud isn't a turtle. It just looks like a turtle to me because it looks familiar. That's pareidolia. I think we'll just go once we're warm. Let's just boil this. We can probably make one more water and then go. In the meantime, let's just make some more birch bark, and we can also prepare some birch bark. This is a lot of teas. This one will break up the smile and put it here. 5 minutes. Reishi as well. Okay, we can make one more. And then we need that. And then I wanted some more torches, so I'm just gonna put this on. Grab some torches, especially good ones. We don't need that many torches, I just want good torches. These are fine. Not great. Fine. The last one I will always use regardless, so this will be the last one. Okay, now let's take all of our teas, which is a lot of them. Go. I don't know if we'll need any of these as we leave now though. The big tea circle. But it's not that cold right now. It's like -8. Possible we'll get to the bunker without being cold. And if not, we'll drink like 1 or 2 teas. You can see it's quite an abundance of teas. Of course, teas isn't the greatest calorie resource in the game exactly. You get like 100 calories or so. I see 100 from Birch Tea. I think the other one gives 110. So it's not a lot. I think if you get level 5 cooking, is it? I don't remember what level it is you need to reach. A tea will give you 125 calories, I think is the highest. So it's not a lot. But if you use starvation tactic, then you go around and you loot all the birch bark you can in Ash Canyon and Pleasant Valley and Ravine. If you do that, you probably end up with like 30 birch bark teas, maybe even more. And then, in order to sleep and heal, you only need about... Wait, let me just check if there's a... You only need about... you need 6 or 7 birch bark teas to sleep. If you do that, then you heal a lot. You heal almost full health. And then you go a couple days and do the same thing. And you just rinse and repeat. So the end game is basically like getting as much birch bark as you can. Birch bark also washes ashore. So you are going to find the odd birch bark and the odd like soup, that sort of thing. The odd vegan thing will wash ashore as well. But basically the end game, other than that, is just going around and grabbing as much birch bark as possible. Just go from place to place, in particular Ash Canyon, Pleasant Valley and Ravine, although there are other places too, but in particular those places, you kind of make a route between them, get as much birch bark as you can, and then you just starve yourself completely. And then when you have to, when you are at low condition, you then drink a whole bunch of birch bark tea till you have enough to sleep for 10 hours. And then you sleep for 10 hours and you heal like, well, bomb, you heal like 60% or something like that. And then you're back to close to full health. And then you probably starve yourself for like 2 days, so you stay awake for like 2 nights, or like, yeah, or so. And then you do the same thing again. So it's a lot of, at the end game for a vegan challenge is literally just doing routes, a patrol route from the high-end birch regions and grabbing as much birch as you can, starving yourself and only drinking it before bedtime. And you should be able to survive doing that. Whether it's enough to sustain scurvy, I don't know. But I think it probably is. But I would have to look into the values or whatever of that. But yeah, that's basically what it's like. That's the end game of a vegan challenge. Unless they add something in the upcoming DLC patches. There's still 2 content patches to come for this game. So they might add something that makes it easier. I don't know. We'll have to see. Right, here's one of the 9 prepper caches, which on Interloper are all empty, but one of the 9 has a recipe in it. So you always check for that, but all of them have beds. We're going to sleep here, and we have nothing to cure or anything because vegan challenge, so matter. So yeah, and I think that then we're going to eat and sleep. So let's this torch here, and we're going to go to sleep now. Start using. How many should we eat? Is it 6? Is it? I think it's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You drink water. And then if you put 10 hours now. Oh, sorry, it's 5. You can manage with 5 of them, not 6. Of course, if you do eat 5, you'll have exactly 750. But by the time you actually click the button to sleep, you'll have slightly less than that. So you'll wake up hungry. But I think that effect is marginal. You're gonna maybe instead of healing 32%, you'll heal 31 or something. Who cares? Yeah. One minor thing though. Let's check here. Yeah, this is past timer because see, it says that it feels like 1 degree and then it's +2, but the torch is burning. I'm just going to pass some time here. Yeah, it doesn't change. Okay, good. I thought maybe the torch made it. Maybe the torch was making it viable when it wasn't the case. Let's sleep 10 hours then. There we are. Okay, so at 4 days. Then we are going to just have a drink. I'm going to sleep 2 more hours. Don't want to starve in those 2 hours, so we'll eat a cattail, sleep 2 hours.
Need to eat soon.
Then we can leave. There we are. Nearly full health. That's not bad. We are not heavy. That's great. Right. Now we're going to leave. We're going to get up to summit. Hey, look at that. Nice clear day. We're now above the entrance to the summit cave, which, or Tomb of Mountain cave, which is there. And I think you can goat down here. I never goat down here. I'm guessing you can. So look, it will save us a little bit of time. It looks goatable to me. Let's just do it. For science. Never done it before, but it looks possible to me. So let's just do it. Ow. A bit more damage there than I... Oh. Ow. Okay, that was more brutal than I pictured. I was gonna go with that ledge over there. Alright. See? Told you could go to it. Let's fix this spring. Okay, that didn't work out nearly as well as I thought. I was picturing going over there to that ledge and then going down these steps. Oh, pfft. Wasn't paying attention, walked backwards and sprained myself. That's funny. But I think you can go down this way too. I'm pretty sure you can go down here safely. Don't have to do it the way I did it. Oh dear, that was funny. Alright, now we're gonna go through this cave here. I lost so much health doing that. Oh dear. We go through this cave and there's some coal in here. There's a misglute. Coffee sometimes. And now we're basically gonna utilize our fatigue to climb up the summit. That's what we're gonna do.
Can't feel my hands.
Kaiser. I I think we need to use our lantern. Can I refuel? Didn't I find some lantern oil? Yeah, I did. But let's refuel the lantern oil. The lantern rather. Lantern for our footsteps. Shines out from age to age. Let's go. Warming up. And there's a little detour in here we want to take, because that detour leads to potentially good loot, including a pot. I can find a pot, which I want. It's down here. There's also wood here, but we don't really need the wood. Once you have coal in your inventory, when you're fighting the cold, if you have coal, the only thing you really need is this way. It's just a few sticks to get the fire started. And then you put the coal on there. So yeah, wood doesn't really matter unless you want to burn for a long time. Okay, here we got some Exclude antiseptic. We don't need that. There's the wood. Let's check for coal. And in here on the left, there can be a corpse or a wolf carcass. There can be a few different things. Let's just pick up all the coal that's here. There's our wolf carcass. We're going to leave. Hey, pot.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Very nice. That's what I wanted. Makes it better to cook stuff. I can make a bunch of water at once. Things cook faster in a pot than a recycled can. So making water in the pot is better than making it in the can. I might actually repair this sprain, because I needed to climb the rope. This is where we just were. You can see the wolf carcass right there. Okay. This should be the exit here. It's still kind of cold, so we probably have to make a fire soon. And then heat up some teas. Yeah, I think it's likely. Keep clicking the wrong button for auto walking, because I play a lot of PUBG sometimes. They have a different button. Okay, so here we are. This is deer clearing. There's a cave over there with some mist loot in it. Don't really need it though. I'm gonna start a fire somewhere over here to warm up. Make some torches and heat some teas up. There's also a container, but we don't really need that. There is a shortcut you can take. I'm not sure I can be bothered to take. Is that worth it? Up there.
My feet.
It is a bit faster. We can try it. Yeah. Normally I go to the right here. I think I might just tank the cold damage because I'm going into another cave soon. Normally I go to the right and then I take a little shortcut up. But you can take a shortcut up here. You go all the way to the top of the slope. And then you go to the right and up. I only done this once before. It's a couple years ago now, so just forgive me if I do this wrong. It's been a while. But if I do it wrong, it doesn't matter. I'll just take the usual route. It's
so cold.
Big deal.
Just want to lay
hey Wolfie,
down for a bit.
How you doing? But there's one of those shortcuts you can use to get up to the rope more, just easier. It should be pretty much, from what I remember, I think you pretty much just go as high as you can and then you just hug the wall. It's kind of like going up to Homesteader's Respite, I think. I think you just go up here as far as you can. all the way up. Maybe you don't need to go this high. And then you just hug these walls there, I think. I think that's it. Hopefully it is. If I'm doing it wrong then. Oh well. We'll figure out the correct way to do it another time. I go up here. Yeah. No, anyway. This doesn't matter. Going to get even higher, I see. This looks like it should be fine though. There we go. I think I did it right. Frostbite risk. From what? Check that in a second. And there we go. There we are. That was a shortcut. Oh, we gotta get up here. And I did do it right. It's been a little while, but this is how you get to this rope a bit easier. A little bit faster. I think I need to fix my sprain again. Because I need to climb this rope. Oh well. Because I got sprained wrist, yeah, so I can't climb. And I'm heavy also. And let's just drink a birch tea actually. Why not? Heal up a little bit. And have some water. And am I still heavy after that? No. Let's go. Why do I have frostbite risk? We'll check that. I bet you that one of my clothing items got ruined when I fell down or something. And we'll see. There we are. This is the secluded shelf. And up here, there's not much. There's a maple sapling here usually. There it is. And some miskwood. That's pretty much it. Good map here, but I'm cold. There's Mountain Air South is down there, that lake over there. We're gonna go through this cave and this will take us to the base of the summit. You can also find Spelunker's lantern in here. Okay, first things first. Why do I have frostbite risk on my hands? On my hands? No. On my feet.
Gotta eat.
Oh. Yeah, my socks got ruined. Yeah, I thought that's what happened. Oh wow, this is almost dead as well. Let's repair this. Okay, so that's why I have frostbite risk. Yeah. Because I landed on my feet going down there. I've taken a lot of damage, actually. I need to fix it. Okay, well, we'll deal with that. We'll find some socks soon, probably. Because, yeah, I think that if you want to go proper vegan, I don't think you can wear any shoes. But I think in the liberal sense, I think you should be able to wear the running shoes. Because it says that they're made of nylon. And, you know, let's be honest, most likely it says they're made of nylon and therefore they're vegan shoes. So you could argue then they are vegan. It's just that you know, all shoes in the long dark give you leather when you harvest them. So it's just like this universal game mechanic. You could just say that, you know. So then you can wear those shoes and they're vegan. A counter argument is that, yeah, the shoes are made of nylon, but maybe the soles are made of leather, you know? So it just depends. I think it just depends. You don't know the answer to it, really. So you gotta just see. I think you can freely amend this challenge however you want. It just depends on how you choose to interpret what some items are made of and whether or not they're vegan. It also depends on whether you care about that or not. Like how hardcore vegan do you want to be. So it depends. Also, like, you also have to think about it from a survival point of view. Like, this isn't really relevant, I guess, but I remember there was a survey, this is years ago. There was a survey that asked vegans if they would eat meat if it was a live or die situation. Like, if they were in a survival situation and they worked on a die, but the only option they had was to eat meat. Like, let's say it was a fish or something. The question was, would they then eat it? And I think it was a pretty 50-50 split. I think it was like 45-55. So roughly half said yes. I mean, I am vegan, but in that situation, I would eat meat. But the other half said, no, still wouldn't do it. I would just die. Easy to say, though, of course, but... so you could, of course, make the argument... I'm going to light the fire here. You could, of course, then make the argument that in a survival situation like this, depending on who you are, or what kind of vegan you are, you would eat meat if necessary, you know. See what I mean? So this challenge can be extended however you want. You know, maybe you can say that you are a hardcore vegan, you only eat plant-based products, unless you run out of food. Then you can eat meat. You just gotta choose. So when I delayed doing this challenge for a long time, because people keep asking me to do it, or a variant of this. I kept thinking, well, there's not really any point, because I know I can survive on birch bark only, which is vegan. But there's a lot of nuances to this challenge, because in birch bark only, you still wear animal products, you know. So it's not technically a vegan challenge as such. And also, there's a lot of nuances to the items. You don't really know if they're vegan or not. It's kind of difficult. Okay. While we warm up in that, let's put so much coal. Let's put down. Let's repair a little bit. Yeah. How long to repair this? 30 minutes. Let's go. Not sure how much cloth I have actually. Not a lot. Need to get more cloth. Uh, 9 minutes, okay. We can repair later in that case. Let's make... wait, don't I have like... Oh yeah, thank you. These. Do I have more I can prepare? Or yeah, we do. I don't want to delay this too long because I'm burning through fatigue doing this. So I'm going to go once this water's been made. Then I'm leaving. And I'm not too worried about hot teas here, because we'll probably make a fire up at the summit also. So I'm not too bothered about warming the teas up here. In this situation, it's okay to just have a few that are warming up. We'll repair the clothes later. In Pleasant Valley, we'll find a ton of cloth. Okay, we can make 2 more. And then we gotta go. How many torches? Yeah, okay. I gotta make sure also that I'm not heavy climbing up there. Hopefully this is good enough. I might have to drop some water actually if necessary. No. Did I run out of stuff to make or something? Did I? Oh, did I not? Whatever. Okay, we gotta go now before I get too tired and all that. Okay, let's go. Oh, I'll take a torch, but we don't need it. Okay, so we're out of the cave. And now we should, with this energy, we should be able to climb up the summit. Only one issue is that I don't, it's actually really annoying. I don't have the crampons. With the crampons, this climb is perfectly possible with this amount of stamina. Because it's not far, and you can, once you get tired, because your stamina drains slower with the crampons, you can reach it in this situation. But because I ruined my socks, I can't wear my crampons. And yeah, that goes out the window. Ptarmigans! Flee! So there is a world here where I don't actually make this climb, but I think you can make it. I have done it before, but I think I might have to dump some stuff just because once I get heavy, the climb is going to be much harder. So I need to dump some stuff here. Otherwise, it's just I think this climb is doomed. I would say. Okay, I will take a torch with me, I guess. All right, we need to dump some stuff. Be as light as possible. Start by drinking something. And then we will, I know I just made water, but I might have to drop some stuff. We'll drop, antibiotic you can drop, that doesn't really weigh anything, but drop all the water. I know I just made it, but fine. Drop the arrowheads, drop 2 of these cans, drop all my torches except the one I'm using, and let's drop a little bit of coal as well. Need to be lighter, basically, and sticks. We can be fine with just 1 stick. Okay, I think we are better now. I think that's okay. Yeah, I don't think I want to drop anything else, to be honest. Let's go. Hopefully we'll make it. There is a world where we don't make it, but I think we can. I need to break, or rather rest, at this ledge that's halfway up there. Otherwise I won't have the stamina to get up there. But then I think we can make it after that. Yeah. Once you see the reticle, the crosshair, you can take a break. Right. You can drink a tea or something. Drink a birch bark tea. You don't really need to do this, but just to keep the health a bit higher. I'm just going to wait for this to regenerate. This sprint meter, which is now a climbing meter. And yeah, then we try and continue, which should be enough. Pretty sure it should be enough. And I need to make a fire to get more torches. Although I might just use a match, I guess. Almost done.
Cold is making my head feel thick.
And there we are. Let's keep going. I can take a break here on the second ledge too, but I don't think that makes any difference. Because it's not a long climb. I think we should make it, yeah. Now we're heavy. We're not exhausted yet, so we're still going to go. We're not going to start having a falling risk until we are in the red, which we're not. And yeah, we got it. There we are in the red, but now we're high enough. Could have taken a break at the ledge there also. There we go.
Really
we got it. We got the summit. No bedroll, no coffee, no stims. And no crampons. I always go to this cave over here. Because there's some misglute in there. Ptarmigans! Flee! You know that scene in Lord of the Rings when Gandalf falls into the abyss? Spoiler alert. And he says, "Fly, you fools." I remember when I saw that in the cinema, I was like, it really doesn't sound like he says fly. It sounds like he says like, "Flutter, you fools." Like, flutter or something, it sounds like he says. I was like, pretty sure he says fly in the book. Let's see, I know what that is. Let's see if we can make a fire here. Kind of running out of tinder as well. But he does say fly. I need some more torches.
Come on.
I'm just gonna do this. There we
It
are.
worked.
coal on there and grab a torch or two. Then we're going to stay here for a little while, not super long, but long enough that I probably will.
Excellent.
Beef jerky. We're not going to have that. Actually, see, does it say what the ingredients are? It does. Beef, sugar, soy, salt. Okay, take away the beef and we can eat it. Okay. We don't need the rope. Let's go. We're gonna make another fire by the actual fuselage, where we're going to
die if I don't blow up soon.
Loot all the stuff. I don't have that much health, but it'll be fine. I had to drop quite a few things down there by the bottom of the rope. I'm glad I did, because it made me climb fast, or further rather. It was a bit risky without it. If I had taken it, I probably wouldn't have made a climb. I hear you. Ptarmigans! Fly! Fly, my friends. That's way more fun than it should be. You know, little things and little minds. Hey, the thermos. Hurrah! Thank you.
I can use this.
Yeah, we will definitely use that for sure. I still don't have a tool to dig these things up. That's gonna have to wait. Alright, let's see if there's a hacksaw here. Because if there isn't, then this is a moot point. There usually is, but not always. I think it's a 25% chance or so that there isn't one. There's our stim though, we'll take that. Use print. Hacksaw. I think maybe we don't have one actually. Flare shells, but no gun. Then we have fire striker, this is always there.
That'll come in handy.
This one and the stim's always there. I don't actually see a hacksaw, so I think we don't have one actually. That's a shame. Because this definitely would have been worth it. It's usually on the crates, like on one of these crates. Yeah, I think we actually don't have a hacksaw this time. That is a real shame. Okay, well, that changes things. I need to make a fire anyway, because I'm getting too cold. So let's just make a fire here. Alright, so the odds were pretty high that there would be a hacksaw here. But there isn't one. I think it's like 1 in 4, or is it 1 in 3 chance? I can't remember exactly that it's not here. But in a way, a small part of me is glad that it's not here, because every time I come here on Interloper, in any of my walkthroughs or tutorials or whatever, it's always there. So it's nice to actually have it different for a change. Right. Put it somewhere else. Drink some. So what we're going to do now instead is we're going to come back to somewhat later. I was going to go and go attach a rope, because there is a shortcut to get back up here easier, which requires a rope, and you can just attach that and we can get up here much easier. So I can go find a hacksaw, for example Pleasant Valley, and come back here. So I was going to do that, but because I can't sleep anywhere other than Mountaineer's Hut right now, I think I won't do that, because that would require me going back down from the summit, attach the rope, and then go to Mountaineer's Hut. And my health is pretty low. So I could do that, but it's a little bit much to do. It's a little bit on the edge with this amount of health. So I think we're instead going to go to the Mountaineer's Hut now, and then we'll come back to the summit when we find a hacksaw and the bedroll. When we have, because we're not going to go forging for a while anyway. But when we have a hacksaw and a bedroll, we'll come back here. Let's get some good torches. Oh, I don't have water, do I? We can put this on while I just pick up the torches, because we can cook it later. But these haven't been reset, but they're not going to burn. Okay, so we're just going to go to the Mountaineer's Hut. And we're going to sleep there. Alright, last one. Let's get a good one for the last one. Come on. That's a good one. Alright. Oh, we got some stuff at least. Under here, there should also be maple syrup. Hey, there's our gun. Nice. Maple syrup. There's our maple syrup.
Always use more food.
Maple syrup, I think we can... I'm not taking that. That should be vegan. Doesn't say ingredients, but says product of Canada. Good enough for me. Alright, so we could make that, put that rope there for a shortcut, but the shortcut is not that big. It is faster, but by the time I come back with the hacksaw, I probably will have a bedroll too. So I'm not too worried about it. So I think we're gonna go here to Mountaineer's Hut, sleep there, recover some health. And then we'll head into Pleasant Valley. We'll loot the plane crash and get some clothing from there. And then we're gonna head around and just try and find a hacksaw and also a bedroll. And we're gonna check out the birch forest for birch bark. And we're going to probably head to Ravine as well. And once we've done all that, then we will have a bedroll. And we'll also have hacksaw. And then we can come back here after. Sorry, I have to take this route. You'll know why. Fly, my friends. Okay, now we're actually back to where we spawned. I don't know if you remember, but over there, behind the engine, that's where we spawned. So we've done the whole loop now. And we didn't get up to summit, but we have looped back here. And we have a ton of food. And we have the backpack. The backpack is good, because that's the only thing that boosts our carry capacity. I mean, I suppose, I wasn't planning on it, but I suppose I could go for well-fed right away. And just, you know, maintain well-fed until it's necessary for me to do birch bark. Just to speed the process along. Could do that. Oops. Alright, we're not cold, so I'm not too bothered about this stuff. I do need to grab acorns also, for acorn coffee and all that stuff. But I think we're fine. Maybe we should go for well-fed. Just because we have so much food. Especially once we get to the farm. The only problem is you gotta eat a bunch of these cattails every day. I don't know if it's any point doing it, to be honest. The main reason to do it is to just accelerate the late game. Because if I decide to go for well-fed, then I will burn through the resources. So you're entering the late game really fast. So let's just say that with the current resources, I can survive, you know, oh well, 100 days, say. Then if I start doing well fed, I might survive 25 days or something. And then you get to the late game, which is just the circuit of birch bark. It depends how I want to approach this challenge. Do I want to approach it just to see how well you can survive or how long you can survive? There is a voice inside me saying that I should go for well fed, and the reason I say that is because, well, you know how many cattails there are in this game? There's like over 2,000 of them, and you can survive, as you saw, with 5 cattails a day. 5, right? 5 cattails a day. Now, that's a lot of days. So if I eat 5 cattails a day, and 50 cattails is 10 days, 500 cattails is 100 days, 2,000 cattails is 400 days. Right. So if I just eat 5 cattails a day, that's 400 days survived, isn't it? Assuming everything else is okay. That's a lot. And then in addition to that, you got birch bark, you got rose hips, reishi, burdock, herbal tea, tomato soup, pinnacle, peaches, maple syrup, potatoes, carrots, pies you can make out of the rose hips and things, porridge, you know. So I don't know exactly, but if you just use all of those resources in a starvation tactic, you probably can survive for, oh, I don't know, maybe like 700 days or something. So then the question is, let's assume that everything goes well and the only thing I really need to do is survive with those 5 cattails. Is it worth to wait that long just to see how it holds up with scurvy and all that stuff? So because of that, I'm kind of thinking of maybe going for well fed right away. The more I think about it, the more that makes sense. Not because then was the wrong thing. You basically survive less time technically, but you get there faster. Because this is not a run where I'm planning to, you know, to survive forever or anything.
Time to look for shelter.
Let's just have a look at this chocolate bar. Green chocolate almonds. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Well, it says it doesn't say ingredients milk, but it says ingredients chocolate. I think we can safely assume that the chocolate was made with milk. It doesn't technically say it, but I think it's probably not vegan. Well, the crunchy stuff. None of this is. Oh wait, damn it! No, this is not vegan. No. And I think I ate one of these, didn't I? Ah, dang it! Because it's honey. It's got honey in it. No. Okay, so honey would be okay if this was vegetarian, because that's a product derived from animals. But for vegans, it's not. Ah, dang it. Oh, that's a bummer. That means I technically failed the challenge. How many did I eat of these? 1 or 2? For stupid me, I saw honey and I just thought to myself, oh, that's sugar. Of course, it's something sweet. I just didn't think about it. The rest is plants. But of course, honey is not vegan. So this is not vegan friendly. Oh, I messed that up then. Okay, well then, technically speaking, I failed the challenge. But maybe we can just pretend that didn't happen. Oh dear. That being said, though, I don't mind starting this challenge again. Because there are 2 more content patches. Maybe those content patches changes what we can do. So might be worth studying it again, but it depends on what the content is. Okay, I'm gonna sleep here, but I don't have that much wood. So I'm gonna sleep only like 2 hours, and then head to the bunker that's not that far from in, and sleep the rest there. Alright. Sweet. Okay, fellow survivors, I think I'm going to end this video here. That was the vegan challenge, and I'm happy to continue this run. I could keep going, but there is no natural break point for this, because it's all about just not using animal products, not eating things. And stupidly, I thought that the chocolate bar was vegan when it wasn't, and I think I ate at least one, maybe two of them. I don't remember actually if I did, but I'm pretty sure I ate at least one, which means technically speaking I failed the challenge. You could argue that like, oh well, you know, it was a mistake, so who cares? Is it really that strict? No, it's not a big deal. I can drop some cattails that give the equivalent calories or something and say don't eat these or something, and it would be the same, but the principle of it has been violated, I guess, if I did eat some. So if you did watch this far, if you watched this video all the way to the end, first of all, thank you so much. And let me know in the comments that you did by saying a keyword like no down. No down. No, that's stupid. I know. Vegan granola. Just say vegan granola. That's the keyword if you watched all this way. But anyway, if you did watch all this way, I would like to know what you think. So please leave a comment about it, because there's a few things I would love your opinion about. I would love to know, first of all, does it matter that I ate one thing that's not vegan by accident? And do you think I should restart because of that? And the second thing is, I'm gonna continue this save when I wake up so this fire can keep going. The second thing is, what is your opinion about things like shoes? You know, because it says it's made of nylon, but then you harvest it and it's leather. So I think you can assume there's leather in there. What's your opinion on that? And then thirdly, like, what do you think about the challenge as a whole? Did you like it? Did you agree with my choices of what is vegan? Do you disagree? And would you change something about it? And also, more importantly, would you like to see the series continued? Would you like to see a part 2 of this? Or do you want to see me start again? Or were you not bothered? If you do want me to continue this series, most likely I will not make a part 2 until after the next content patch. So right now we're in DLC part 4, and we know that DLC part 5 is not far away. They're very soon going to announce what is included in it, and then probably in a month from now or something, it's hard to say, they will actually release it. And that means that there could be something that they add to the game that will impact this challenge. Probably not though, probably it won't make that much difference. Because they're unlikely to add items that are vegan or will make veganism easier. If so, it'll be some small thing, like they'll add a new like tea or something, I don't know. So I doubt it's actually going to make a difference. The only real impact, I guess, is that we do know, even though it's not been announced properly yet, we do know that in the next content patch there's going to be cougars in it. And the addition of cougars could change the landscape of the challenge a little bit, but we have to see. And either way, I think we'll do the next part of the challenge after the content comes out. But we'll see. But in any case, if you watched all this way, then thank you so much, and let me know what you think. And by the way, just a disclaimer, I always continue to run from when I last saved, so if I do continue this, I will continue from when the moment I woke up, which is when the fire is still burning and the water hasn't been evaporated. Just because otherwise I have to save it again now. So this is like filler time, if that makes sense. In any case, this was the vegan challenge, and I must admit it was way more interesting than I thought. Because I didn't think it'd be that big a deal because of the birch bark challenge I did, but it was a lot more nuanced than I thought. And I even made a mistake, as you could see, with the chocolate bar, with the granola bar rather. So that is it's a little bit harder than I thought it would be, but it's definitely interesting. And I really like doing it. I'd be happy to continue it or start it again. So it's definitely something cool to try. It is a little bit up for discussion exactly how to do it. It's easy to distinguish in the sense that should you do vegan, vegetarianism, or pescatarian, or scavenger, where you eat animals but only if you didn't harm them. But exactly what is vegan or is not is a little bit tricky at times, just because the game doesn't tell you. So it's a little bit hard sometimes. But I think it's a little bit up to each person to decide in that case. But yeah, that was the vegan challenge. Let me know if you want part 2, and let me know what you think about it. And thank you so much for watching. And with that said, vegan or no vegan, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, survivors. And bye bye.